We're here. We're here. Just wait a couple more minutes. We'll be right with you. What? You don't like my choice of music? Are you serious? Come on. It's not getting you pumped up for the show? Okay. Let me take care of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's showtime, folks!
Well, folks,
Just wanna be a mini me. All these niggas just wanna be a mini me.
I got it.
Just wanna be a mini me.
That went all the way to the back of my throat.
14th try, and that's his first try on the bobbin. Literally, he's been trying to suck the thread up
I got it. Nope. Yep.
for half an hour. Like, the show starts at 7.
Well, I forgot about the thread, okay?
Maybe you want to come prepared next
Barely
time.
essential.
Not essential to the show. So,
What's up, people?
welcome back,
Welcome.
people.
All of the people.
Like the real Jen Lyle said, welcome friends and Cam.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he means by that, but I think
We love you, Cam. Even if he doesn't.
that Cam isn't a friend. So just going through the comments here, folks. Welcome back. I can finally pee outside again. Well, Jen,
With a shiwi or
just something we don't even know.
popping a squat?
He just goes outside and lets her buck. So this is Thursday, and this is Thursday Night Live, and I'm Dana Lattery,
And I'm Tim Hepworth.
and Tim sucks a mean bobbin.
Apparently not. I was struggling.
Good. Well, you still suck.
Practice makes perfect. Okay?
Success is a whole different part of the game, folks. Terry Sather, Sylvan Lake, David
Terry.
Spencer, TNL peeps, welcome back to another week, and we are just starting to come out of the deep freeze.
Yeah. Finally have temperatures where we can exist outside again. So
Almost.
It's kind of nice.
So,
Almost.
kind of got addicted to that song that I played,
That's all right.
and now it's annoying me, so I'm turning it off. So, there it is. Sven Diesel, Bruce Cameron.
What's up, Sven?
Bruce wondered if you could put a golf ball through a garden hose.
I haven't tried, but I'm sure I could do it.
Well, you did guide Bruce this
Yeah,
summer.
I did.
And I'm sure you worked hard for your tip.
I did. Yep. Just the tip.
Just the tip. Dennis Orn from Langdon, Alberta. So
What's up?
we're here on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and just horrible with this monitoring.
Yeah,
Songs
he's-
get loud, we get quiet, and the chrome off a trailer hitch.
And that's.
There's
I haven't
a-
heard that one.
A lot of cheerleaders for you tonight.
Oh yeah. Apparently, thanks guys.
What's most important is
lot.
that we're here and we're together. And being Thursday,
We gotta
I
drink some beer too.
so here's the cool.
Now I get to struggle with that
Spilt it
already, right on your keyboard.
almost.
There it is. Why do you struggle focusing on this camera? It works fine for me. Drinking my all-time favorite beer tonight. Some
Jacques
Riverfest.
Heroux from New Brunswick. Can
What's
we
up,
hear
Jacques?
Tim? People, can you hear Tim? Tim
Can
talk.
you hear me? I'm talking. Tim talking. Am I on? Am I on? Am I on?
You're on. You're
I'm on.
I turned you on before the show.
Oh, cool. No, no.
Right when I caught you out of the
Unrelated
corner of my
bobbin
eye,
activities.
sucking thread into that bobbin.
Uh-huh.
Shay Lynn, Elaine Lee.
What's up, Elaine?
This is the best night of my week.
100%.
And what's super cool here is that tonight I'm enjoying, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a banana
Ooh.
brown ale.
Why
Well,
is that
Tim,
so cool?
Why is that so cool, folks? Because
But
if you
wait,
just,
there's more.
there's more to that cool factor. And, well,
There it is.
there it is, folks.
Nice. Well
Oh
done.
yeah, the banana bread cake with cream cheese frosting. Oh yeah.
I could eat that.
Tim, you haven't even had a bite of that
Haven't
yet.
yet. It might not make it to the end of the
You
show.
you tie some good flies tonight.
And I get rewarded.
That, my friend, is your treat at the end of the show. So, folks, that is the baking cam, and tonight it is a beautiful banana bread cake-ish thing.
Yep.
Something.
Looks
that,
delicious.
yeah. So there's that, and then there's bingo, and we'll be playing some
Yeah,
bingo.
for some giveaway
I
again.
think all the cards are gone.
Are they all gone? Perfect.
You can use your card from last week, and David Spence gives that 3 bananas up. I'm not sure what's going on with this show. We might have to restart. Speaking of restart, no, we don't want to do that. Yeah, so we're going to play some bingo. We got some really cool giveaways. One of them being Tim. I'm not giving you away, but why don't you tell everybody what Thursday Night Live is and what it was and what it's going to be.
For sure. Thursday Night Live, guys. What is it? What's it about? What's it to me? What's it to Dana? Well, I guess I'll start with a bit of our mission statement, our why for why we do this. You know, we started, this is our 3rd season, so 3 years ago, we started in a brewery in Calgary with the mission of bringing our local community of fly fishermen and women together, just to fellowship, to have time once a week where we got to hang out, tie some flies, drink some beer, BS a bit. That was our goal. It worked brilliantly. We had a great time. We always provided materials for everyone who showed up at the brewery, and so they could just tie along with us. We do 2 patterns a night, which is kind of what we've kept going through as we moved forward. Now, things changed a bit last year with the first COVID lockdown. So we were forced basically out of the brewery just for safety reasons and into a studio, which kind of was a positive change for us in a way. It was a bit sad that we couldn't meet with our group of locals, although we are still providing the materials each week for 20 people. We put them at the brewery, anyone can go grab them to tie along with us. But what it did is it brought us into a studio and it created what it is now. We have a show. We're able to go. We've always been live, but the dynamic has changed a lot, and it's made for a very pleasurable experience for us and hopefully for you. So Thursday Night Live, what do we do now? Every Thursday we're together. We tie 2 different patterns. This is the first season that we've also undergone a huge undertaking of putting these packages together. Now, we actually sold seasons this year. So we made 80 seasons. There's 20 episodes in this season, and we sold all 20 together. And this is what your package would look like if you have one purchased and it came in. So each package has this. It's got 2 different patterns in it. It has both patterns tied once for you. So regardless of how your tying experience goes, you've got 2 flies that you're gonna fish at the end of this night. It also has enough material to tie each one of those flies 2 more times. So essentially you're getting 6 flies per package. It's been great. It's been awesome to be able to share this. We sent these out worldwide. We have people internationally enjoying watching live and able to tie with the exact same materials that we're tying with every night. And it's been a huge blessing because we've reached what we thought was a great community of locals has turned into a great community all across the world, which is super special for us. I know Dana agrees, but the messages that we receive, the thanks, this is the best day of the week. I had a bad week. I needed this week. All these comments is what really brought us back to our why. That community has been built, and it's just a lot bigger community than I think we may ever imagined it would be.
And we're not done trying to grow it.
No.
You guys are the fire. So if you keep spreading the word, the cheer, the contagious positive energy that we're just trying to bring to you once a week, and you guys keep sending us awesome messages all week long, talking about Thursday and what it means to you. And so it means a lot to us too, because we get to hang out with you guys. And in the interesting times of the world, sometimes virtually is the only way to do it for now.
Which has been kind of unique, and we've been able to pivot easily, which was good. We're kind of already doing it.
Make sure in your comments, and if you guys post stuff on social media, use the hashtag Thursday Night Live fly tying, and then we can share those photos because we want to see where you guys are tying from, what your setup looks like, where you're watching Thursday Night Live. And I know some of you guys have already sent me photos of your setup for the night, and that's pretty awesome too. So
yes, Sven. The answer is yes.
Do you need me to wear a TNL Speedo and post to my TikTok for advertising? Yes.
I don't see any problem with that.
I only got the T on the Speedo that's coming your way. The NL is what you're going to have to work on. So yeah, tonight, what are we giving away?
Ooh,
One of these.
beauty. That is a sexy looking sun shirt.
Yes, it is probably recommended up one size. So if you're a medium, a large, and extra large, they're not for sale yet. We have received a couple of them from a dear friend, and he did it to give to you guys. And we're gonna get the wheels in motion. I feel like a redundancy there, but
Yeah.
that's the plan.
We're working at getting them to the point where we can provide them for
Yeah.
you guys.
So, sun shirts.
Yep. If you don't wear them and you're fishing this summer, I suggest you give it a try. Saves us on
Yeah.
the river every day.
Like the material in the back. It's hard to show, but premium quality sun shirts.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So we're going to give one of those away. We're also going to give away something from the Rocky Mountain Fly Shop Tickle Trunk.
Whew, the tickle
I've
trunk.
yet to dive in there tonight and see what it is. But when Tim's tying or blowing up flies,
That's a
I will
possibility.
dig deep and find something cool for you guys. And then we'll probably give away some stickers. Maybe we'll give it all in one giant package.
Even better.
We don't even know.
Don't
We
even
don't
know
even
yet.
know. We literally don't even know. So Cam got his top fan badge back.
Nice.
Oh no, he didn't. He wants it to come back, but
yeah.
it's not. Michael from Ottawa drinking himself an IPA.
Nice.
I need to be able to pick up some Thursday Night Live truck decals. So I didn't get any of those stickers.
Oh, the big ones. Yeah.
Yeah, but so stickers that we just got in. This is when you entertain people.
Oh, sorry. I thought you had something exciting to say.
won't
So the
tell
stickers
you
that we've got.
To tell a joke because you hate that.
I don't like telling jokes. We'll leave that for Elaine Lee later. So the stickers he's showing you there, we got some pretty epic ones. That one in the front, obviously being my favorite, River is Calling. Those are for sale on our website. So you can go on, purchase them, add them to your cart, and we will send them out to you. And yeah, a couple good ones. We got a couple of the Eat It kind of ones we got, and then we got Berry, our other logo. And guys, these stickers are premium stickers. These, we've kind of tested a bunch of different stickers. These ones are the ones, put them on your truck, put them on your boat box, your tackle box, your fly
tackle
box,
box.
whatever you want to put it on.
Your
and it's
bait
gonna
box.
stay there. Yeah,
And then we
Your
just
box of
got these
worms.
in too, so I just
Oh,
threw
nice.
them up on the website.
awesome.
They're there. We'll give a sticker pack because our friend Quinn at Drift Out West Fly Fishing also has stickers to go in the sticker pack.
Yeah.
So we'll just call it a sticker pack and throw them everywhere when you get
Let it
them.
rain.
Cam says tying on the beta version of a Fly Kia table.
Yeah, we
There's
should
a
talk
few
little bit
people
about
here that have the Fly Kia tables. But what we'll do, so you know what the Fly Kia table is, we're going to just say thanks to the sponsors quickly. And at the end of this commercial is the Fly Kia table. And boy, oh boy, there's a few left. And then we'll have to put in another run of tables.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. It's
exciting.
Hold tight. We'll be right back.
There are a lot of great rotary vices on the market, but only the Norvise spins the hook. It's for this reason that it's been said the Norvise is the most innovative fly tying system on the market.
We all deserve the right to stay organized, no matter what or where your space is.
Your FlyKia table will turn any space into a well-organized fly tying realm. Own your domain. Yeah,
There you have it. That's the table.
That's Rocky Mountain Fly Shop, Norvice, and
Shore fly fishing.
Shore Fishing.
Shore-ish.
Yes. Shore is
fly
shore.
fishing,
Looks like, so if you're new to the Norvice Club and you just got yourself a Norvice, I know Bilo might
got
have. Let us know, and we can officially welcome you to the Norvice Club.
Yeah.
The tables are for sale. They've been for sale for 2 months. You can get them through us or Rocky Mountain Fly Shop. Ours are not on our website, but give us a shout, and they are $199 Canadian. It's about $120 American-ish, something like that.
Yep.
And yeah, how can I play? I don't have a bingo card. Wait, want to win the shirt. So didn't save the bingo card. So I think if you go back into your email, you can find your bingo cards. And what bingo looks like is something like this. Thursday Night Live Bingo. So we'll call out the names on your card, and whoever decides to win wins. Probably not your decision, but it's more of just the randomness of the game.
Yeah.
Okay, Tim, what are we tying first so everybody can get their thread ready?
For sure.
And we'll go from there.
So guys, we got a couple of smaller flies tonight. So we're tying a couple of my favorite patterns. We got the rusty spinner, which you see here in the vise to start with. We're gonna start with this one, and then we're gonna go over and tie Parachute Adams, one of the most classic flies out there. So for both flies, I'm gonna use the same thread. I'm using a UTC 70, and that's gonna be in this kind of golden brown color. Brown or black is totally fine, just something dark in color. I just picked this one because it'll work well with the color of the dubbing on the rusty spinner, and the color of your thread on the Parachute Adams is pretty much irrelevant because we're gonna hide it under the hackle. So that's what we're tying with tonight. I do suggest going with a smaller thread, so we don't want to be as big as 140 denier or something like a 3/0 or 6/0. We should try to be down to an 8/0. Yeah.
And that doesn't bode well for Cam.
May break your thread tonight.
Nano Silk.
Yeah, Nano Silk is the
Okay,
way
cool
to go.
comment here. Rusty Dean Turner. Just got my daughter her first rod, took her to the fly shop, and she begged for fly tying materials.
Awesome.
And I think I know where we will be on Thursdays from now on. So
That's awesome.
that makes me happy.
Yeah, very happy.
Because I know a lot of people get a tie with their kids and jump in and enjoy Thursday Night Live. And it is mostly PG.
Yes, we try.
Sometimes the show comes on and Tim's trying to get the thread through the bobbin. And then oftentimes...
Struggles.
Okay, there we go. So you guys get your bobbins ready. And then we're going to jump in here. Tim, need to chug a beer for saying tackle box. I think that's not a bad... No, we know how to get Tim to chug a beer.
There's only one way that I'm chugging a beer, and that's if we get over 100 shares on Facebook.
That's 200.
It's 200?
Because tonight is different. You shouldn't be chugging beer.
No, I shouldn't.
Yes, he should.
But I might.
Yes, he should.
You know what you have to do to get me to chug a beer.
Joel is in Colorado drinking cold smoke Scotch ale. Somebody talked about pre-ordering shirts. And that is going to be how it is done.
Yeah.
So that we can put in a big order and satisfy the unsatisfied people.
It's kind of the way that's going to be the easiest for us to get rolling on this process for us. So yeah, we'll let you know, but we will do a pre-order so you guys can go ahead. You're going to have to be patient with us because it's going to take us not a lot of time, but a little bit of time to get them here.
Yeah.
And then
once the ball's rolling.
Once the ball's rolling, we're in good shape.
It's rolling.
Yeah.
And ain't going to stop it.
No.
Okay, so Doug Lindsay just convinced his wife to let him buy the Norvice. I need a sound here for that.
Yeah, where's the applause? That's awesome, Doug.
It's a good thing. I'm going to figure that out. We can maybe give you the...
Oh, I love the air horn.
But
I wish I could hear it.
we gotta have a Norvice victory song.
Yeah. Welcome to the family. It is.
Yes.
It's a special one.
So Jim James William Crawford said refs.
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 He's always good for something.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's talking about, but
the Norvice Club. Okay, are we using the same bingo card as last week? Yes.
yeah, you can.
Because they didn't all go, and they were good for a couple weeks. Is next week March? Still
no,
February?
we got one more.
One more.
Yeah,
February.
one more than March.
So once we get into that, we will do the new card. So I think 100 wasn't enough, so
Yeah.
we're gonna have to get some more. But that's fine. We'll get 500 if we need it.
Mm-hmm.
So share with your friends. Chaz loves his table.
Yeah.
Chaz has a Fly Kia table.
You should, and he's a great one to go actually check out because he posted up how he did his table.
Yeah,
so
it looks so
understanding our tables are Fly Kia, and if you know what IKEA is, this is the less frustrating version of what IKEA would be. Very simple to
Yeah.
put together, but they're raw. So you get to choose what you want. He went with one of the birch tables instead of an MDF, and I don't know what he did to stain it or lacquer, but man,
Yeah,
that thing
it's
looks
beautiful.
epic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go
Yes.
check it out.
Nolan loves it too. Even better.
What's up, Andy?
Hillbilly Taxidermy. My little guy and I are watching in the taxidermy shop and drinking root beer.
That's awesome, man. Happy
None
to
of
have you
that
watching.
stinking root beer.
Yeah.
What film is that from?
Is it
That gets
before
you a bonus
90s?
point. Some people might know.
That's the
If
problem.
you Mark, pre-order. No, that's shipping. It's not the ordering. Okay, Jason Baggs is in the house.
What's up, Jason?
What if I spilled Fruity Pebbles all over my bingo card? Well, then you are bingo out of luck.
We tried to find those Fruity
Yeah,
Pebbles.
we were literally gonna come on the show eating Fruity Pebbles, wearing the Schwend Diesel shirts that our
Couldn't find
friend
the Pebbles.
sent us.
Thanks for the shirt, buddy. Love it.
I'm waiting for the other shirt so I can sew them together and fit it over my left arm.
Come on.
I was
Nice.
gonna wear Tim's, but he didn't want me to wreck it.
Said you're
'cause
not ruining my good
I
shirts.
ruined his Norvice shirt. So,
Yeah.
okay, folks, welcome Thursday Night Live, the best night of the week according to me and Tim
Definitely.
and many of you guys. But let's new viewer Scott Lorenz, Littleton, Colorado.
What's up,
Welcome.
man?
Appreciate you joining in. We tie some flies and this T-Rish Hepworth.
What
That
was said
is-
before?
Look at the profile photo.
Yeah,
that
those
that
are
girl's
my
cute.
girls.
Oh,
Yeah.
I said,
Both of them are cute.
okay.
Yeah, I'll give it that.
Yeah. But not as cute as Jen Lyle.
But
Slapshot. I
the
knew
one
she
above
would
it
get
has seen me without my shirt on, which Jen Lyle has yet to have.
Jen can wish. She can hope. And soon,
Uh,
Jen, your wishes might come true. See, look, Slapshot. That's the quote of the none of that stinking root beer.
Oh, okay.
People get it. Not everyone watches basketball like you. It's a hockey film. Okay. I'm going to head into the tickle trunk. Walk
trunk.
through these lasers of Mission Impossible here. And we're going to get some flies tied
Let's do
with
it.
the old Tim bomb. Hey, Tim, the show is yours.
All right. Finally, you're in my safe hands.
Uh-oh.
Here, let me get that bobbin ready.
Is your mouse safer?
Okay, guys. So we're gonna start off with this pattern, the rusty spinner. So let's chat about this pattern for a second. Have you fished spinners before? The spinner fall is a very magical thing when it comes to we'll call it dry fly fishing. This is the last stage of life. In fact, there is no life at this point. It's watching Dana try to get under these cords and now laying on the floor is quite nice.
Under the table.
Yeah, he's under the table. What are you doing? Oh, hey. Yeah, so our spinners, for us, I love fishing them in the mountains, fishing them in calm water. Fish will eat on them all day. They're a dead bug. It's the easiest thing they can eat because it's not going to fly away on them. It's not moving. They can eat it up. Super simple tie. Now, obviously, this is tied in like a dark mahogany color. This is a mayfly, I should clarify as well. But what it's representing is after a mayfly goes through its cycle and it dies and it comes back to the water, we call it spent. And this is what a spent mayfly looks like. Its wings are laying flat out on the water, and basically it's all you're seeing is a little bit of the color of the body, and just a super effective fly. So I'm going to take you through this pattern, understanding we can vary different things, different materials if you choose. I think we've chosen pretty close to the original, except for the wing isn't the original material that was used for the rusty spinner, but it's easier to work with. And then you could vary the color of this. Obviously, if the mayfly patterns you're fishing are like a light dun or they're gray or whatever, you can have so many different spinners in your box. I also like having like PMD spinners, always a light color, because then you can always take a Sharpie to them and darken them up if you chose to as well. So
Todd joined late, but we usually just talk to get the show started so that when people filter in, they're not missing.
Yeah.
And then this super hot girl, Janine.
Oh yeah.
She's here for the Baking Cam banana.
Well, who is that girl?
She only wants me for my baking and my banana bread.
Banana bread. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, guys, if you're in your if you're tying out of one of our packages tonight, you're looking for Season 3, Episode 9. If you flip it over, we've got 2 different bags inside there. If you don't have one, hopefully you have some serious FOMO right now, and next season you will have your package ready and waiting for you. If you pull them both out, be careful as always, because there is a couple hooks in the bag that may fall out or get lost on you. So just be careful as you empty out the bag, okay? The one we're looking for is this guy here. We've got some poly wing in there, lots of dubbing. You got enough dubbing in both of these flies to tie about 30 of them. You're gonna have your already tied pattern in there, which you can take a look at and hopefully base some of your fly off of as you take a peek at it and as we take you through this process, okay?
We just received a tip.
We received a tip.
Evan Hertig is telling us about the world record brook trout in the old Nipigon River.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Loves fishing these fly.
Awesome. Yeah, there's nothing new about this pattern. It has been around for a long time for a reason.
Brook trout.
Yeah, I want a big brook trout.
I want, yeah, bigger than an inch.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have a lot of big brook trout around here, so
Apparently,
that opportunity.
Chaz pulled out too quick, and it's a mess.
And it's a mess. On this one especially, guys, we have these micro pivots, which are these guys here when they're attached to something, but yours are just free hanging in there. So you got to be careful when you pull them out. They're very translucent. The color we're tying with tonight is a gray color, so it'll look like those guys there. So just be careful when you pull it out. All those materials, you may have to search through and find them. I'll pull out just the one that I have here. You can see that you can hardly see them. They are very difficult to see, so don't lose those, okay? We'll need 2 for each fly. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my hook in my vise. We are gonna tie this spinner on a size 14 dry fly hook. So I am going to go get it fixed in my vise here. So you may notice my jaws look a little different tonight, which is kind of one of the...
Tim, your jaws look different tonight.
Didn't you notice?
I know I did.
Oh, good,
That's
okay.
what I'm asking.
So that's another reason I love my Norvise. I have some options. So when I tie stuff that's, you know, even 14 and smaller, I like to go over to these midge, this is the midge jaws, to tie them on. I get lots of good access into my hook bend. I still have all my inline rotary function. It's just on a little bit different shape. Okay?
So a cool thing just to talk about
Yep.
is the shape, the pointed shape, which allows you, like you said, to get more access to the hook bend versus the traditional Norvise jaws.
Yeah, so the traditional jaws are more, these are the streamer jaws, so these are over exaggerated in size, but the original jaws are just great for 90% of the flies you tie, but the added bonus is, if you do have the midge jaws, you can get nice into the bend on whatever it is.
So Sven thinks he's funny because your orange post and you...
Yeah. No, the truth is that's called laziness, and I didn't want to change both of them, so I only changed the one I had to change.
Oh, what I was going to do is put both vices and no post.
You did that. Oh, where do I hang it? Yeah. Don't you like it? It's like, it's just fall colors.
Yeah.
Green and orange.
Green and
A
orange.
little bit of yours.
What sports team would that be?
Green and orange? Canadian football team? See if people
Oh.
can get it now.
No, they're gold
Oh, I
and
guess
green.
it's gold and green, yeah.
Eskimos.
The
Is that Canadian football?
Yeah, what is that?
Trout Maharishi thinks your nails are still a mess.
They are. Still waiting on my sponsorship. I'm gonna chew them until I get a sponsorship.
Wants to throw at $1,000? That's how much nails cost up here.
Oh, really? Dang.
I heard.
Might as well get my lashes done too.
That's another grand. And your lashes are not in focus.
No. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my brownish bronze colored UTC 170. Sorry, 70. And I'm going to start it in the middle of the hook.
One wrap and you're done.
And I'm going to work it back. Actually, one thing I'm going to say before we start wrapping is I want you to grab a nice long piece of your thread as you're putting it on. So over exaggerate that extra thread because we need a piece to use. So it's easy to take it off here and then use it. So I've just left a really long tag that I'm going to cut off and use. So I'm going to come back to just before we head down into the hook bend. We don't want to tip over the edge of it, because that's going to make our tail fibers not sit properly. So I'm going to come in here and trim this out. And now don't lose this piece of thread, okay? We're just going to set it aside, and we're going to come back to it. Okay, so now I'm just going to make sure, there we go, a little bump there. I'm going to go and grab my micro bibbits. Kind of a funny name. What these are is this is just a tail fiber that we're going to use for mayflies. Now normally, when you see a spent or a spent mayfly or a spinner on the water, it has a perfectly splayed out tail. And it's just when they die, they splay out and they sit that way. Not all mayflies only have 2 or 3 or 4 tail fibers, but what they do look like is just evenly spread out normally once they've hit this spinner stage. So I'm gonna get you to grab 2 of these, and that's what we're gonna tie in. So go ahead and grab 2 out of your package. You should have at least 4, probably a few more. You want to keep the tips aligned. You can see right here, I got 2 of them, and I keep them aligned. Now, it is kind of odd how long we leave the tail on these. Probably the biggest thing of frustration is that it takes so much extra space in your fly box. But these tails are actually quite long in these mayflies, so we're going to leave it over exaggerated in length. So I'm going to be tying this in right about at the hook point, and then I'll work some thread wraps rearward. Firstly, though, I need to measure. So what I want to do is I'm going to measure it off of the overall hook length. So that's from the eye of the hook to the rear bend. Now I want that to be roughly 2 times the length of that hook. So if I were to stand here, I check it, try to take my thumb out of the way. I'm going to measure 1, 2 roughly, and then I'm going to set that behind, and I'm going to set it so that when I start wrapping, it's going to be right at that back bend is where my measurement lies. So I'm going to go 1, 2 roughly, and set it back. Okay, so now I'll come in here with my with my opposite hand. I'm gonna get a pinch on it, and now it doesn't matter if our thread is all the way back in the bend, because I'm just gonna get this started, secured on top of the hook, and I'm gonna work my thread back to just before we get to that bend. So I'm gonna take a nice gathering wrap. I'm gonna cinch it down. Take
Lots of good
one.
tips here for substitutes.
Oh yeah.
Paintbrush, dog
paintbrush.
whiskers.
Literally what it is.
Moose hair.
Moose hair. Yep.
So
Good stuff
Victor, yeah, if you don't have them, can't find them, stuff like this, packaging in your bag might be in there, but hard to find.
Yeah, these ones are going to be the hardest to find because they're super translucent. Like I said, you can hardly see them. So by taking just a couple of wraps on here, I can now adjust the length if I need to. If I feel like it's a little bit too long, I can adjust it a bit. But you need to leave it over exaggerated. It's going to be long, okay? So I'm going to pull this in just a smidge. I'm happy with that. That looks good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few more thread wraps back to the hook bend. All the while I'm holding on to them so that I can keep them right up on top of the hook shank. I don't want them going around to the sides because that'll defeat the purpose. Now, if like what I did just there, I took one extra wrap and you see how it tipped the tail down. That shows that I've gone too far into the bend. So I'm going to back off 1. Okay. Now there are different methods of tying these in to keep them propped up and splayed. Okay, that's the goal, is to get those 2 to splay. So a lot of people at this point would have made a bump with some dubbing or something at the back and then use their thumb and thread wraps to try to get it to evenly spread out. I'm going to show you a pretty awesome trick that I learned from an amazing fly tyer named Tim Flagler. His trick for separating these and getting them evenly spaced is pretty dope. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come down, make sure I secure these butts in first. Make sure they're locked down. I'll come in and trim them out. Secure them in, and I'm going to work my thread back a bit to about the hook point. Now this is where we're gonna go back to that piece of thread we had, okay? So what we're gonna do is we are gonna stick this thread right through between between the thread we have hanging and that hook bend. We're gonna go right in that little hole that it's created, and we're gonna double this thread over, okay? Doesn't have to be perfectly even. You're just gonna double it over. So now what you're left with is a double over thread that can slide up and down that hook bend, okay? So all I've done is I've stuck it between my thread here and the back bend of the hook, and it's giving me this shape here, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a good grasp on it. I'm gonna come and look kind of over top of these microfibbits. All I'm gonna do is grab them and splay them. And all I'm gonna do is I wanna pull that thread up between the two fibers. So now if I'm gonna turn this for you to see a little better, because I've gone in between them, I can now control and splay them with this thread that I have here. So again, all I did was come in, I split them in half, so one on either side, and now when I pull on that thread, it splays them. There you go, I kind of over exaggerate that splay so you can see. So when I pull on that thread, it splays them, and when I let go, it lets it go a bit. So I want them fairly splayed, but not overly. So I'm gonna come in here, once I've got it splayed to about where I want, I'm gonna take a thread wrap and go over, and now that kind of saves my work for a moment. I can come in and make sure they're exactly where I want them. I can maybe give a little bit more of a tug on that thread, which is all it's gonna do is gonna take them from being in this position and splay them out a bit, okay? That's what I'm trying to accomplish. How much do I want them splayed? So if I turn this to you, you can see, they're so difficult to see, especially against the color of the vise, but that's what they are. They're splayed like so. Now I'm just gonna take a few more thread wraps over top of that thread that I used to really lock that down, okay? And then I can come in and trim this out.
And remember, folks, you just have to type in SOS if you are needing us to slow down.
Impossible to see against there. A little bit.
Oh, yeah.
We'll wait to take this off. Let's get really hot.
Remember that time Sven cut his beard?
Yeah, he did. Ruined his logo. Okay, guys, so this is where we're left currently. What we're going to do for our next step is I'm just going to take a tiny little drop of my UV resin. This is the bone dry. And I'm just gonna put a tiny drop right where those fibers come off the back of the hook, because now that I got them where I want them, I don't want them to move. So I like this super thin bone dry because it'll get absorbed into that thread and it will hold those in place, and I don't have to worry about them moving anymore.
Do you also remember when we had that Rosina girl?
Rosina? Oh, I remember.
And she went on strike?
She kept crashing the show.
Yeah. She wanted
The
more
show
money.
must go on, so we had to ditch her.
It's go time. Take it off. No, Jen, we will not start that.
One day, buddy. One day.
It was a sad day, Sven.
It was a sad day.
Please,
Why did you shave
please
it?
tell me your sports team lost or something great, like some great tip.
There better be a good reason for it. Okay, guys. Let's move forward to our next step here, okay? We're going to tie in our wing. That's going to be our next piece. So what we use for our wing, tonight we're using some of this poly yarn.
Did you just turn your hat around?
I did, yeah.
Okay, things
Trying
are
to get a
heating
better
up,
breeze.
folks. Things are heating up.
Things are heating up in here. So we have this, I believe this is probably Antron yarn. It's a synthetic. It sheds water really quickly and it's super floatable, which is kind of the key components of what we're doing. Dana's down to do push-ups on the floor for some reason, and I'm not. Now it's downward dog. So
things are heating up.
Things are heating up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take and cut maybe like an 1.5 inch piece off of this. I'm going to get it out of the way here. Just so you don't want to work with too much material because it's going to make it difficult to tie this in. Now this is too much material all at once. We don't want the wing to be that large. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to pull out about half, maybe 2/3 of that. Separate it out. I'll get rid of that smaller clump. I'm gonna be left with this. I'm pretty comfortable with that amount. It's gonna take a bit to get used to how much you need to leave on there. I think that might be a little bit much still. I'll pull a few more out, a few more of these pieces. I think that'd be good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna advance my thread forward, and I wanna leave roughly 1 hook eye. So if you imagine that hook eye at the front, I'm gonna use it as a measurement. If I could set 1 more of those hook eyes behind that one, that's about the amount of space I'm gonna leave. Okay? Well, that's a tight shirt there, bud. From there, I'm going to tie these in as if I was tying in dumbbell eyes. I'm going to do kind of similar to the crowd that we tied in last week. We're going to do some figure eights and cross wraps on this. So to start with, I'm going to kind of come into the middle, roughly the middle of that overall length. Kind of hold it at an angle. Try to get my fingers out of the way so you can see a little better. I'm going to kind of hold it at a bit of a side angle. I'm going to come in, take a thread wrap over top. That's basically, I'm going to hold it up here so it stays on top of the hook shank. I'm going to take one more wrap. So now it's like perpendicular. All I'm going to do is turn it, parallel. I'm going to turn it perpendicular so that it's coming off as a wing on both sides. And then I'm going to take some cross wraps.
Hold tight. Hold the farm.
What is going on?
Look what just showed up.
What just showed up?
Mr. Roman Quintana from
Montana.
All right, Roman. Welcome, brother.
Welcome, buddy. Good to see you. Or hear you. Or see you writing.
See you writing.
Whatever it is.
Read you. Good to read you.
Yes, good to read you. So really, guys, all we're doing here is we're going to start putting some wraps across both directions. Do a figure eight. We just need to lock these fibers, or this wing fibers, down. Make sure they're not going to go anywhere. Once we feel good and secure that they're not going to move, we'll put a few wraps in front of the eye. Now we kind of have that splayed out, okay? If it's not perfectly sitting up on top, you can always adjust them with your fingers. It's not too difficult to adjust it. Once you're happy with where it is and it's coming off evenly on both sides, I'm just going to again go in and take a little bit of that thin bone dry Solarez, and I'm going to put a drop right on top of those wings where it meets the hook so that this is now not going to move on me. I'll cure that real quick with the light. Remember again here, guys, quick SOS in the comments if you need me to slow down or if you have a question. We'll take the time to answer it. We're in no rush, okay? Once we got that good and
Especially
cured,
this fly. Super easy tie.
it really is.
And such an effective fly that most people don't fish and they miss out on some really large trout
Yeah.
feeding.
Some of my biggest fish in the mountains have come on this fly.
Yeah. I think there was a question about poly and antron, and are they the same thing?
Oh, yeah, right there.
Yeah, I think
Poly is
poly is-
hydrophobic, you're right.
A synthetic
So they're all synthetic, guys. That's
polyester.
There's different, like, polyurethane rope is basically the same. You can take it apart and make the same kind of wings out of it. It's commercially sold as Antron and what's the other one? Zelon. Both of them are hydrophobic synthetic materials that you can tie wings with. It's really an easy way to tie, like the other materials that would be used for this. So a classic tied on this would be a Wally wing, which is a very difficult thing to tie. Looks amazing, but really not super effective when it comes to catching more than one fish. I want this to catch me 10 trout, not just one. So a really durable wing like this that you can dry off quick, get some more floating on it. That thing just, it floats like a dang.
Yeah, and what you got to be careful of, Randall asks if you're using Antron or polyyarn. The thing to be careful is these flies aren't supposed to float super high. They literally lie in the meniscus, and you ginking this up too much literally could change a fish eating it or not. And like I said, why am I not in the camera here? Because I did my push-ups.
Whoa.
I was doing push-ups.
Yeah, I can tell. You're busting right out of that shirt.
Yeah, I forgot to do sit-ups. So, what I was saying, there's no sponsorship here.
No, none. None at all.
No, not even my gym is
Yeah,
sponsored.
global gyms here.
Not even my pec deck is sponsored here. The thing you got to understand is sometimes the big fish come out to play at the end of the hatch, which is this bugs are dying. So they become super picky. I've seen them come up and nose my fly out of the way and go and eat a real fly.
Yeah.
So too much gink on something like this, I guess we'll never really know, but ideology, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, if we could do it in a classroom,
Yeah.
you could teach that you have to be careful how much these flies float, because there's a meniscus in the water we can't really see it, but it exists. And this needs to sit in the meniscus, not below the meniscus like the emerger, but in the meniscus. Right.
Which normally for myself, I would just put floating on only the wing, and then the rest of the body's going to be pretty much supported with that tail in that layer that he's talking about.
Yeah, and so Sven went to get a hot chocolate, and probably because he's craving the baking cam. What is your Flagra's never out of the question? Never stop putting Flagra on everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Just a little hit. I want to eat that. You're probably going to eat it on me.
I will, if you're not careful.
Eat it. We need to take pictures of the baking and make stickers that say eat it. That's funny. I might have done that. But they're not for sale.
This is meant to be the quick fly, so let's get this one out of the way because the next one's going to be a little bit more
We're not even
work.
an hour into it.
Oh, we got lots of time. Okay, so the next piece of this puzzle is we are going to just dub the body. So I'm going to work my thread back pretty close to the base of the fly. I'm going to start putting some dubbing on, which in your package you can see here you have this nice dark kind of mahogany color. We're going to dub a fairly thin dubbing noodle on this. We don't need a lot of dubbing here, guys. This is dry fly dubbing. One of my favorite little dispensers that I use, it's not what I'm going to use tonight because I'm going to tie what you guys have in the package. But if you're looking for something when it comes to dry flies, which we could use on both the ones we're using tonight, is I love these little bundles. This one's made by Superfine, but it's just dry fly dubbing. But it gives you a good variety of all the different colors that you would be tying with. It's not giving you an overabundance of them, but for dry flies, you're not normally putting very much dubbing on it. In fact, it's more just coloring your thread than anything. So giving it a little bit more floating property as well. As you can see, this super fine stuff is waterproof dubbing. So what we're gonna do is
I think this shirt is made out of superfine.
It just repels your skin.
Question from Evan.
Yes, Evan.
Do they not swim back down and lay their eggs to complete their cycle? So no.
Not these bugs.
They literally drop their eggs on the water, and they use the surface tension of the water to pull the eggs out of their orifice.
Orifice.
That's how Jen Lyle used to say orifice. I had to. He did. He said orifice.
Orifice.
So I had to correct Jen Lyle, but these bugs, once they're on the water at the end, they're done. Their eggs will drop to the bottom, but
is there? Can you think of?
I know.
That's
a good question.
There's some that will return.
I
wouldn't quote me on this, but I know that some caddis have different behaviors, like different subspecies of caddis.
But their eggs are all getting laid the same.
Yeah.
Again, we know 1% of trout fishing.
Yeah, I'm not super. But like, a good one to think of is if you've ever watched a stonefly come back onto the water. They flutter down, dip their butt in the water, get back up, flutter, dip their butt in the water because they're just depositing eggs.
Yeah.
So,
Oviposit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then they just literally lay pancaked on the water. And I don't understand why the fish go nuts on it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's because it's the easiest thing for them to eat.
I know, but it's just so fascinating. So
yeah.
Don't think like a fish.
Yeah.
Do think like a fish, but don't think like we think and think you're a fish. That's a better way to put it. Okay, back to you and your fly.
I was just looking at Jen Lyle's comment here. I'll pay you $25 to wear that shirt to the next wing night. Orifice that.
Yeah, I'll orifice that. I'll wear this.
Oh man, too good.
We did go for wings.
Yeah, because bars finally open. It's amazing. Thanks for the invite, guys.
Yeah, well, hey, anytime. What's
Okay,
the
guys.
ideal wing length?
We're going to show you that here momentarily.
About that?
We're going to basically, you're looking at the overall length of the hook shank is the length of the wing. Is a pretty good judge. Even when we tie in our next post on the next fly, it's very similar. Often when you're measuring a wing out for a mayfly, you're taking the overall length of the hook shank, and that's going to be your height of the wing for the size. So let's grab some of this dubbing. So I got
Let's
this
get that
mahogany dubbing
music
here.
up.
All we're going to do is our standard, remember, when we're putting dubbing on our dubbing noodle, we move our fingers in one direction. We're not playing
One
a violin
direction.
here, okay?
I wish I had a One Direction clip to
I know.
play.
without getting kicked off the internet would be
That's a
awesome
good
to play
point. It would be worth getting kicked off.
Well, it obviously would be. So guys, I'm just gonna come in and I'm gonna make a very thin dubbing noodle, okay? I'm not gonna overdo it with this at all. I'm gonna take just a little wisp of dubbing, and I wanna make this probably about 2 to 3 inches long on my thread. And I'm gonna, if your hands are anything like mine right now, they're a little sweaty, so this works really well.
Why are they sweaty?
I don't know, just are.
They weren't
Maybe it's
before the
COVID.
show when we were holding hands.
That's probably why they're sweaty.
Pitter patter.
As you can see here on my thread, it's just a wisp. We're not doing anything too crazy. As we go down into our dubbing noodle, if we got a little bit heavier up here, that's okay, because we are gonna build a bit of a taper on this. So it's gonna get a little bit bigger, a little bit broader profile as we get up towards the top. Now, one thing you'll notice about this poly yarn is that it always is trying to get in your way. So sometimes I'll go and trim the wing back because I'm used to the size of the wing that I know I want. I'll cut it early, but I'm gonna leave it until the end this time. So once I'm at this point, I'm just gonna start taking some thread wraps back till I get right to where I attach the tail in. And I'm gonna start my first wrap there. Just doing open spiral wraps up, creating that nice body. As you can see, I'm basically just coating the hook. I'm not putting an overabundance on. I'm gonna keep moving forward, tucking some wraps right up against those wings. Once I get to this point, I'll flip it so you can see a little better. Once I get to this point, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna go across. I'm basically gonna do that same figure 8. It's just kind of hard doing it at this angle, but so that I can cover below, above, and we wanna create almost a little bit of a bump up here at the front. So it's gonna look like a little bit of a bump right where the wings are. And then I'm gonna take a few thread wraps right in front of the wing. Now I'm a little tiny bit short because I wanna cut, it's hard to see here, on that hook, the hook eye. I wanna have dubbing come right up to the hook eye. So I'm just gonna add just a tiny wisp right to the front there, and then I'm gonna whip finish this fly, and we're pretty much done besides trimming the wing. Okay, so all I'm doing here is I'm gonna come in, make sure I've got some good dubbing right up to the hook eye. Take a couple of wraps in front of the eye. And now all I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna whip finish this, okay? I know, sorry, it's kind of hard to see if I don't have it at this angle, but I'll turn it over so you can see like this.
I think you should leave the wings like that.
Yeah, maybe it's a dragonfly.
Maybe it's just a well-endowed rusty spinner.
Maybe it is. I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna whip finish, do 3-4 turn whip finish. And now guys, on these smaller flies as well, I often don't even whip finish them. I'll just do a half hitch, but it is good practice to try to whip finish on these smaller flies as well. Kind of hones your skills a bit. I'm gonna cut my thread and get it out of the way. Now before I do much else, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here, I'm just gonna use some Sally Hansen's tonight. Just gonna use a tiny drop of it right behind that hook eye just to make sure those thread wraps aren't going anywhere. On these smaller flies as well, I don't like to use the brush just because it's actually too broad. And if I soak a bunch of that nice dry, some of that dry fly dubbing, it loses its waterproof quality because I've really
Tim,
clogged it.
do tell me about that situation.
I don't know what he's talking about, so this is what we've learned and we're moving forward. I'm gonna take my bodkin, just a needle or anything pointy. I'm just gonna take a tiny drop of this Sally Hansen or head cement, whatever you're using, and I'm gonna come in and coat just behind that eye. This stuff absorbs really nice and easy. It's not gonna overdo it.
Looks like you're tying me a fly and you're filling the eye with glue.
Yeah, something like that.
That's why I don't order flies from Schwend.
So this is where we should be at this point,
He'd
guys.
probably put a t-shirt in there
He
or
probably
something.
would. He just he mixes up little bits of cement and puts
Yeah.
it in the eye.
Yeah. Where did the eye go, sir?
So guys, we're basically done besides trimming the wing. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to imagine, if I come here from the side, what I have as an overall hook length is what I want to have as a, ooh, what's that?
Whoop.
Ooh,
Just a tease.
just a tease. So I'm gonna come in here and cut this wing so it's about the same length as the overall hook length. Now to make these wings super even, what I actually like to do is come in like so, pull both wings up together, and make my cut. Start a little long if you need to so that you can trim if you want. So I did. These are still a little bit uneven. I want to shorten up this guy up here just a smidge. So I'll come in, and it's okay to trim them off pretty much flat. Trim them till they're even. It's good if even if you add a little bit of moisture to them and spin them, then it'll give you a good perspective on their actual length. And there you have it. I'm happy with that.
Fantastic.
Got a couple lengthy ones there.
Irrelevant. One cast, 24-inch rainbow.
Yeah, there it is, guys. Obviously, as you can see, this is a super easy fly to tie. Vary the colors of that body material, but these are the basics to get you rolling on this. If you've got a box full of these and a couple sizes, obviously we're trying to match. A mayfly is the same size when it's alive as it is dead, so pick your sizes, you know, whether that's a 12 to 14 if it's a green drake. Tie one as a green drake color and make it, you know, maybe a little bigger. Maybe it's a size 12 or a size 10 for a big one. Yeah, there's so many options you can do here, but do not ignore the spinner fall. It is unfortunately overlooked a lot. Like David
Oftentimes, people don't ignore it. They just go home before it happens.
That's also true.
That is also true. Ugly flies catch more fish. That is why I am a productive fly tire for guiding. Okay, so Jamie says, what's the best tools for fly hook making in Amazon?
Fly hook making?
Jamie, just add to that question because I'm not sure exactly.
Jamie, does that say Jamie Vargas?
Yeah.
Jamie, what's up, man? This is he's a paramedic in Calgary, I think. If this is the same Jamie I'm thinking of. I used to work with him.
Oh, nice.
What's up, buddy? I don't know what's a lot on Amazon. The thing with Amazon, guys, is...
But I don't know what he means by for fly hook
the
making.
best tools for... I think he means probably just for flies, like
flies.
the toolkit.
What I know is I can't feel my arms. The blood
I can feel my cheeks because
has
real
been
hot
cut
in
off.
this coat right now. We're taking a break.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Look at that. You get your audio fixed. So, yeah. Jamie, just asked the question again. And then, what can be used for the spinner fall? Oh, the spinner tail. So moose hair, I think people said.
Yeah.
Paintbrush is more often what's mostly used. It's the best option, I think.
The only advantages to the actual manufactured ones is you can get them in different colors. But other than that, like, yeah, paintbrush is just fine.
Yeah.
Moose hair is not a bad option, but it is a lot more coarse, and it's not as easy to work with on these smaller flies, but it would work.
Yep. Okay.
I can't feel my face.
Trout can't feel your fish.
Cheers, brother.
Is that because...
How many chairs are we at? Because if I have to chug one, I won't feel my face either.
Is that because you have a turtleneck on that is as tight as my extra small Norvise
There's no chance
shirt?
that there's a turtleneck as tight as that shirt is on you.
I can't even breathe, folks. I'm in it, but I can't. I'm in it to win it. So, speaking of Norvise, ironically, any more questions about the rusty spinner?
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to ask. I don't know why I paused because comments are delayed coming in anyways.
I'm not cold. It's just the nipples.
That's just part of Schwen's design.
Yeah.
He always puts in 2 Smarties. Mm-hmm. Like, they're not printed on. He just puts them on. Cam does not recommend cat whiskers. I think his cat doesn't recommend using his hook sizes 14, 16, 18, 20, 22.
Yeah, go small on these ones.
It depends where you're fishing and what size.
Let's talk even trico spinners. Like,
trico.
Great fly, but whew.
Trico, trico. What do you say?
Trico.
Do you say trico, put D for Dana? Do you say trico, put Tim, T, put T for wrong?
Put T for wrong.
Yes.
Agree to disagree.
We might have to hit a commercial break so I can get out of this shirt.
Nope. You're in it. You're in it to
Doug
win it.
McLean. The bingo cards, I think... Oh. Yes, the bingo cards. There was a link in the description. That came from the YouTube. Let me see if I can send, because we are going to play some bingo shortly. But what I want to do is, let me check if there's any bingo cards. There's no bingo cards left.
So if you don't have your one from last week, sorry, you're gonna just have to.
Yes, we ordered
one out.
100, and they are all gone. So next week, I will order 200 so that everybody can get. So we will do, if you had one last week, like Tim said, one of the giveaways will be on the bingo, just so that everybody here can have a chance. And then one of them will be with one of my super fantastic
Made up ideas.
let's do the bingo one right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's give away the shirt.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Look at that. I gotta say though, too, guys, I've had, like, this is new to us too, new product to us, but I've had a lot of sun shirts, but this one is like, it might be the actual ticket of all sun shirts, so
Yeah.
super good. We got a couple awesome logos. We got our berry on the back. That's my favorite logo of all of them. Love berry.
Yeah, and if you love berries so much, you can get yourself. Focus.
There it is. Interesting method. That worked well.
Yeah, well, interesting is my middle name. I need a beer. Tim, grab me a
What do
beer.
you need?
Because
Beer?
what I'm gonna do is head over to the Dana Cam, and I want to show something else because I know at least 2 people in here, and Tim being one of them. Quinn, you're all in, buddy. Don't worry, I got you taken care of. G and F. I'm not sure. No, this shirt is given away using bingo.
Not the one
But-
he's wearing.
Well, it's so tight, folks. It hurts. I need a Riverfest. I can't.
I'll drink that.
I can't go with that right now. What I need to show you guys is Chaz and Tim are competing in March Madness fly tying competition with Norvice. And so if you go, I don't even know, how do you vote?
That's a good question. So voting for this is actually very particular. So we're allowed to share the photos. So I guess I'll just give you a quick rundown of how this works. It's done just like March Madness basketball. It's a big knockout tournament. You got a left side, right side. You compete each week, and how the competition works is we're given a category to tie in. So this last Sunday, we were given our first category as bait fish.
Bait
So
fish.
we all got to tie our favorite bait fish pattern. You take the best photo that you can. We submit it, and then this next 2 weeks, there's gonna be a 2-week lull because I think there's 60 of us in the.
You're looking at me like I can help, and I
think
can't.
there's 60 of us dying in this competition, but it's a lot. So a lot of pictures to post. But Norvice is gonna post them to their Facebook page. The only way to vote for your favorite fly is to go to the Norvice Facebook page. They're gonna post the photos. You like or put the heart for the photo that you like or the fly that you like best, and that counts as a vote for them. So I might share it to a lot of different people, but it doesn't matter. My shares, my likes on my post don't mean anything. It's only on the Norvice page. That's how you vote for them. So it's cool. There's a lot of great tires in it this year. Go on over, check it out. It's gonna start here right away. I think they're gonna start posting either tomorrow or the next day. And they're just going to put paired photos against each other, and then whoever has the most votes or likes or hearts moves on.
Yes.
And
So 64 people
64?
partake into this. And the interesting thing is the hat fits better this way.
maybe the shirt would
And,
fit better that way too.
The shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Get
try
your
sideways.
do-rag on.
Okay, so Jamie asked about the Vice, okay? I wouldn't go to Amazon. I go to Amazon for everything, but I would not go to Amazon for fly tying stuff. RockyMountainFlyShop.net. Contact them. Send them an email. Pick up the phone, call them. They will walk you through a starter kit perhaps with a starter vise. And then it comes down to budget. Also, on our YouTube channel, we did a video on tools to get started and what you're looking at in those tools, because cost comes into play, and it is a budget thing. So, Jamie, send us an email, send us a direct message, and we can help you out more with that. Find out your budget and figure out what works for you. Or contact RockyMountainFlyShop.net, and they will also take care of you. We don't sell vices, so we're just trying to help you, and Rocky Mountain Fly Shop is awesome, and they will help you. Tim killed the first fly. Okay. So, Chaz and Tim. Chaz, I do not have your picture. Do you have it?
I do on my phone.
Maybe you can text it to me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you this photo, and then we're going to jump right over to bingo and give away the shirt. So get out your bingo cards. What thread should they put in next?
I'm using the same. Use anything that's UTC
Use
70
the
or 8.
same thread. Okay. Go to Rocky Mountain Fly Shop. Got mine Tuesday. Beauty. Awesome. Send it. Okay, so the screen's going to go black for a second. And then maybe I can add... Nope. Can't add anything there, folks. Okay. So there is Tim's fly. And if you remember, last year, we tied this?
We did, yeah.
Right near the end?
This is the drunk and disorderly.
The...
And you guys all prayed that I would mess it up. So
And
I
he
figured it
almost
was
did.
Almost did.
But yeah, so that is Tim's tie. And then it's still on my face, and that's not appropriate. Okay, so he's sending it to my computer. I'm going to, I don't even know. I don't know what's going to screw everything up. I got a better idea. Send it to my phone. Okay, so just have to go and vote, folks, and vote for our people. And then when they end up head to head, that's up to you guys.
I would love to go up against
going
Chaz.
to stay out of
That'd
it.
be awesome.
So, okay, that's what's happening in the Norvice March Madness in February. And now it's time to play. Bingo, bingo. Here we go, folks. Okay. So, Tim is just checking out the photos, and I am going to call.
Chaz, do you care if we show your photo? That's probably a better question.
You know, he said he'll send it to you. So, okay. Thanks, Bailu. Nice tie, Tim. That is why I didn't join. Okay. That is art now. Not even a flied fish anymore. Frame it. And yes, we don't fish those flies. They don't work. Okay, folks. I am calling the bingo game. And Tim wants to leave his camera. And he's running around. And I think he's going to piddle, folks. So we'll just mute him. Or we can leave his mic on. You guys tell me. 4 corners. Yes, so it is 4 corners. 4 corners. The first person to win the 4 corners wins the Fly Fishing Bow River Outfitters Sun Shirt. Remember, extra large is the biggest that we have. We'll go from there. Okay, the first call is Quill Gordon. The Quill Gordon. The Quill Gordon. Okay. You need 4 corners to win. The next call is the Bunny Leech. The Bunny Leech is the next call. The last week's bingo cards do work. And if you win, you have to tell me the code on your fly, on your bingo card, and then I can put it in the program and it will tell us if you won. Okay, what are we at? Bunny Leech. The next call is the Bow River Bugger. River Bugger. Might as well get 4 calls out there. The WD-40 is the next call. So that's 4. So if by chance, welcome back, Tim, you got all 4 corners in the first 4 calls, that's good for you. That's fantastic. Okay, the next call is the Sparkle Pupae. Pupa. The Pupae. The Sparkle Pupa. Anybody? Waiting for the comments to come in. That's why I'm going slow, because I'm waiting for comments. The next fly is the Prince. Thursday Night Live Bingo. And the Prince is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What if you have no corners? Well, you've got the circle card, and that is next week. The next call is the crane fly. The crane fly. Did anybody get 4 corners? I think this isn't gonna work. And if you're thirsty and you know it, take a drink. Yes, same wavelength. Okay, the next call is the X-Caddis. A lot of these flies we are tying this year. All right, folks, this is for the brand new Fly Fishing Bow River Outfitters sun shirt. It is for the sun shirt that will make you cold and nipply. Trout has last year's card. That is a fact. And we do ship to New Hampshire, I believe was a question. The next fly is the Brassy. Bruce needs stickers. Bruce waits for stickers before he plays. He hasn't even touched his card. All right. Okay, is anybody even close? With the woolly bugger, is anybody close? Talk to me, folks. Tell me where you're at. Tell your friends. Tell your friend's girlfriend that Thursday Night Live Bingo is better than Wednesday Bingo at the Legion. Never been, but I heard it was pretty cool. Okay, no winners on the woolly bugger. How about the blue wing olive emerger? 2 of 4. Joel, we got somebody close. Gosh darn it. I had more faith in all of you people. Maybe these cards don't work. Bingo, 009, Gunner Cove. Gunner, did you get your kit that we sent out? Yes, it is a fact. He also had a line at the top. And not sure if you can see it, but that is Gunner Cove is the winner. And he also got his kit. What did you win? Was it a fly box? Oh, a tying kit. Tools. Yes. So, we will get that shirt wrapped up and send her back down the same path that toolkit came. Okay, folks. That is the bingo game. And you get the shirt. So, Gunner, send me a message. And Gunner's not the real name, though. Nope. That is just a Facebook persona. Okay, so Jamie. So for next week, folks, when we post the event, the code is in the... let's get over here. Okay, so the code is in the event link, the description. And you just click on it and you download a card, or I think they email it to you or something. But yeah. Yes, I know. We ran out of cards. I saw that last week. We were at half the cards. So I apologize, but that's why we will do giveaways that aren't bingo tonight on top of this one. So we're going to get ready to tie the next fly. But first, somebody wants to say hi. So hold tight and we'll be right back.
of great rotary vices on the market, but only the Norvice spins the hook. It's for this reason that it's been said the Norvice is the most innovative fly tying system on the market.
We all deserve the right to stay organized, no matter what or where your space is. Your Flykia table will turn any space into a well-organized fly tying realm. Own your domain. Boom. So it looks like we got Ben addicted to the bingo. And let me know where you go on the weekends, Ben. I'm a secret closet bingo player. Dabber? Well, I think you can go in there. It's like a restaurant or something. But okay. Well, I'm going to try to get out of the shirt. I got the rally cap on, and we are turning the corner. 20 minutes late, but that's okay because we have the Parachute Adams to tie. But we should check in with the baking cam. Tim hasn't gotten into it. You guys thought when he left and turned off his mic, he was digging into the baking. Your audio's not on. No.
Yeah, it is showing me as dead.
All right. So, Tim is just a little technical difficulties, folks.
I wonder if I can do this.
But, yeah, you can. You can. And, yeah, Tim's audio's quiet because it's dead. So,
How
Tim.
about this? Can we hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I'm going to have to sit a little closer to this side, closer to the plug-in. Give me a moment.
We'll pull that plug over. Yes. So,
Yeah,
Tim.
we fixed that
He
problem.
has a job to do. It is plug in his mic
There's
and
a lot of
his
cords.
camera. And
There we go. We're good.
And he did one of them. So I'll
I did
excuse
both of
you,
them.
Tim. I'll excuse you. And I will let you get back.
Just once.
Okay, Tim. Tim's going to tie the Parachute Adams. Yeah, you want to hear
Favorite.
that.
I need to. Look at that.
Okay, this is the rusty spinner. We're on to the next fly.
We are on to the next fly. So next on the docket, my friends, is we're gonna go with the Parachute Adams. So we've done a few flies last season now that I gotta put my coat back on. That's just, I can't look at my nipple behind this fly the whole time.
Well, Jen can.
Yes, she can. That's what I'm
She
afraid
just
of.
made a $25 donation
Yeah.
to keep the shirt off.
For my breast augmentation surgery. Okay. All right, guys. So, well, this makes it easier for you to see anyways. Parachute Adams. I'll show you one here quick.
The two colors Vice is the orange is mine and the green is Tim's.
Yeah. So I
And
figured
so-
out why not try a little bit of both.
We like to keep it fresh.
Fresh and real.
Fresh.
Okay, guys. So here we go. This is our Parachute Adams. We are going to tie a very classic form of it tonight, sticking with the original colors, the palettes of hackle as well as the tail fibers. And we're even going as far as using calf body hair or a calf tail. So this is going to be a very kind of original style pattern. As you can tell, we're tying it on a post. So this brings some challenges when it comes to the dry fly department. But don't let this scare you. This is actually, in my opinion, one of the easier ways to tie, well, quote unquote dry fly. This is actually an emerger. We'll talk about that in a second, but it's an easier way to do it. It's a good, easy way to learn some techniques, and we'll take us nice and slow tonight. Don't worry, we'll get through this one, okay? So,
You're so kind.
Parachute-
Take it nice and slow.
the Parachute Adams. What is it? Well, this is meant to be a mayfly emerger pattern. So, if you can imagine this sitting in the water, that same meniscus in the water that Dana was talking. I wish I could take a picture, folks, because what I see next to me is not good.
It's great.
Anyways, the hackle fiber
Good
isn't there.
is the enemy of great.
The hackle fiber here isn't meant to look like a wing. The post isn't meant to look like a wing. This is meant to look, is meant to sit in the water, and that hackle that we put on here is just holding it in the surface film. We don't want to put gink or any other floating on the body of the fly, only on the hackle and the post, because we want the rest of it to sit under the surface of the water. Ergo, it's our emerger pattern, okay? So super easy merger. Again, just like the last fly, we can vary the colors to match the hatch of what we want, whether it's a PMD, mahogany, green drake, whatever it might be. We adjust the color of the body to suit that as well as the size. Okay, so tonight we're gonna tie this in a size 14 again, probably the most classic size dry fly. Is always gonna be that size 14. So let's go ahead and get our hook and attached in our vise, like so. I'm going to use the same color thread that I used on the last fly. So I'm going to use that bronze colored UTC 70. We're going to want to use that smaller thread again here, guys. This isn't a big fly, right? But you could tie these down as small as a 20 without too much difficulty, okay? It is a simple pattern once you get it on lockdown. Hardest part is that post and putting the hackle on, but we'll take you through it. So I'm going to start my thread right in the middle of the hook. Gonna wrap back over till about that hook point. I'm gonna go ahead and get in there and get my thread out of the way. Just like on the last one, we don't want to put thread wraps way down into the bend. Down here, we want to stay up on the flat portion of the hook. We're gonna come back to about the middle of the fly. Now, if we go into our package that we have for our parachute atoms, the materials that we're gonna use tonight for this fly is we are going to use a grizzly colored tail fibers, which I'll show you here. So all it is we're using hackle fibers that are a lot larger than what we would use to wrap hackle up. So I'll show you what that looks like here. And this one here. So we're just using a grizzly colored hackle fiber, which is longer. We're gonna pull some fibers off for the tail. We're gonna pair that with a brown mahogany color, same deal. We're gonna pull some off for the tail. Then we're gonna use some traditional Adams gray dubbing. Originally this pattern was tied in gray. We're going to use some calf body tail, or we can also use a calf tail if that's what you have. I actually prefer the calf tail. It's a little easier to work with. Either or. And then we're going to use 2 different colors of dry fly hackle. So we're, whew, voice crack.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. We're going to use
time.
a brown as well as a grizzly. That's how it's tied originally. We're going to use those for our hackle, okay? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to tie in the tail. Now, how are we going to do that? So I'm going to come to that larger brown feather that's in my kit, and I'm going to grab somewhere between 6 and 10, 8 fibers off of the stem. But I want to keep them aligned. So if this is my stem here, I'm going to reach in. I'm going to grab roughly a little bit. Yeah, I'm not counting these out by any means. I'm actually going to get rid of these bottom ones because they actually lack some color in the bottom. They're a little more pale in color. I want to get up to where I've got some noticeably brown fiber. I'm going to go ahead and grab those. Now this is a little trick that I learned from watching Charlie Craven. And so what he does, we're gonna use this as a way of measuring. I don't care at all where these are on here right now because I'm not doing a measurement. I'm using them to hold because I'm gonna mix my fibers. So I'm just gonna take one loose wrap and let the weight of the bobbin hold those there, okay? All we're doing. Nothing permanent about that. We're just putting it there so that we can now go and grab our grizzly colored fiber, tail fiber. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna grab the same amount roughly, not an exact science, but we're gonna grab basically the same amount off this one, keeping those tips as aligned as possible. And there we go, I have them here. So now what I'm gonna do is, because all I've done with that wrap is just using
Uncle Bob's in the house.
What's that?
Uncle Bob.
Hey Bob, what's up, buddy? Reno, Bob posting.
Reno.
So I'm gonna lay these other grizzly tail fibers right on top of the brown ones so that I can get them to be the same length. Once I measured and they're the same, I'm gonna go and grab them with my opposite hand. I'm gonna take that thread wrap off and lift them up. Now I have them at the same length. They've mixed up. I've got the brown and the grizzly in there. I'm gonna measure to make a tail roughly a full hook shank length in full length. So I'm gonna take that measurement there with my fingers against the eye. I'm gonna transfer it to the bend. Okay, that's how long I want my tail. I'm gonna switch hands again. And now my thread is still up in the middle of the fly. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna start my attachment in the middle. And the reason I like doing it up there is because once I wrap it once and I get it secured, I can hold onto the tail fibers and keep them on top of the hook, which is where I want them, okay? So I'm gonna take one gathering wrap, I'm gonna pinch that down and then start making wraps rearward to about the barb. And that's gonna be right about where we go before it turns and goes down over the edge. And I don't wanna go over the edge into that hook bend. I wanna make sure that I keep those tail fibers up and together. Okay, so roughly somewhere in there. And now I'm gonna reach in, I'm gonna snip out those butts. I'm gonna advance my thread forward, locking those butts down. And now I'm gonna come to about the 2/3 way up the hook shank. So if I broke my hook down into thirds, I wanna leave a little bit of space behind that eye. I'm gonna be about 1/3 of the way back from the eye of the overall length. And it's at that point that I'm gonna tie in my wing, or my post, sorry. So I like where my tail fiber is sitting. They're basically the right measurement. I'm gonna go in to my calf body hair here, which looks like, one second here, looks like this. We've left it on a patch for you, so it's a little bit easier to deal with. We're gonna go in there, we're gonna take a pretty good hefty clump. Now what does a hefty clump look like? Well, I'll show you here. I'll cut some off. More than you probably think you're gonna need because it's such a small fly, because when we clean out the underside of it, so, you know, roughly something like this. So when I go and I start cleaning it out, it takes a lot of those fibers out, okay, and it gets thinner. Now, once I'm to this point, what I wanna do is I wanna go and stack it in my hair stacker, okay? So I've got my hair stacker ready here. I'm gonna put the tips in it. I'm gonna stack them up. Now, as we've talked about before, when I remove hair out of my hair stacker, I need to have them already oriented in the direction that I want them to go. So I want to tie this in with the tips pointed out the front of the fly. So that means I need to pull them out with the tips pointed forward. So I'm going to tip my hair stacker this way. I'm going to pull out. There's my tips aligned. Okay. Now at this point, I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to take out any more of that under fur that's in there. I can adjust a little bit if I think I've got too much. That might be a little too much. This is honestly a game of trial and error, guys. Until you've tied a few, you're probably not gonna quite know if you've got the right amount. If I have any that are sticking way out the front, don't worry about it, because honestly, I'm gonna show you what I prefer to do, which is I actually like to cut it at the top. So I'll show you one that's not.
Question here. Do you recommend placing a few wraps under the tail to prop it up slightly?
Yeah, you can do that as well, especially if you've kind of gone over that hook bend a bit. You can go back, and what that looks like, I'll just show you here. So we can come back to here, and we can take a wrap underneath the tail, which will prop it up. See how that just kind of lifted it a bit? And then we can come back forward. It's a great suggestion, especially if you've tipped over the edge of that hook bend and you need those fibers to stick up a little better. It's a great way of doing it. Okay, so now I'm gonna come in here. What I was trying to show you here is this is a fly that's tied with leaving natural tips on that wing, or sorry, that post. Whereas this one I tied, I actually trimmed. I prefer to trim because that post is only there for you to see. That's all that's there for. I like to get rid of those tips because they're really useless. I like to have that nice bold white color stand out. Okay, so don't get super concerned with how we tie this in. We are gonna rough guess the length of this post when we tie it in, but we're not gonna get too crazy, okay? So when I'm measuring it, what I'm looking for it to be basically one full hook shank length in overall length of the wing. So if I were to come down and measure this, that's roughly one hook shank in length, okay, for the wing. So I would take this measurement and I would transfer it to my tie-in point, which is where I left my thread. Now I'm gonna do a clockwise spin for me because I'm left-handed. If you're right-handed, that would be a counterclockwise spin. What that does is cause my thread to jump rearward. And I'm gonna take one good securing wrap right there. I'm pinching it so it doesn't roll around the hook shank. I want it to stay up on top. And now I'm just gonna take some wraps heading rearward. I'm gonna place probably 10 or 12 good wraps heading back down the fly. Okay. Now I'm gonna lift up those butts. I'm gonna back off a couple wraps here. So I'm gonna lift up those butts, and now I wanna cut those off at a good angle. So about a 45. You're gonna come in here making sure you don't get too close to your thread up here, because if you cut that, you're kind of hooped. And I'm gonna cut that angling down towards the back of the fly. Now right now it doesn't look like much, but once I come in here, I cut this a little bit long, so I'm just gonna trim out a little bit of these butts so they don't extend over the bend.
Those sure are nice scissors.
Those are sure nice scissors.
I got out of that shirt.
You did.
Yeah, I had to use the shore scissors to get out of
Cut
it,
yourself out of
but
that
I
Norvite shirt.
did, and I got feeling in my fingers now, and I can open the beer and drink
Nice.
it. It's a good day.
It's a good day. Now I'm just gonna take thread wraps back to the tail, okay? And as you can see, what this has created, because I cut that off at an angle, it's created a nice taper. So I got a little bit more bulk up at the top.
The post calf tail, or calf body hair.
Yep, that's right. Okay, and if I've got butts that are a little bit long,
it's
I
a
can reach in
question.
there and trim them out. What's up?
Is it calf tail or calf? Yeah, that's right. Calf tail or calf body hair.
Either or is fine here. You can tie with either one. But what we put in your kit was calf body hair, not calf tail. But either will work. Okay? Now I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna pull that post up like so. And I'm gonna take some wraps right in front of it. I'm building a bit of a dam. I'm gonna taper it out, take some thread wraps forward to the eyes, and come back. Now I'm really just trying to build some bulk right up against that post to make it stand up. Okay? So we've got a decent amount of thread wraps in front of it. We'll take a few more just to try to get it to stand right up for us. And as you can see, that that post is right about at that third way mark, which I'm pretty happy with. Turned out good. As far as those stray fibers are concerned, we can either cut them out or we can come in later and clean it out once we put our hackle on. I'll just get rid of a couple of them there. Now what I need to do is I need to make wraps around the post of wraps around the post itself. So I'm gonna come up like this. I'm gonna kind of hold the post as I go. So I'm gonna take one wrap around it, pull it back, let go, take another wrap, and once you start putting some good wraps on here, you'll notice that the post starts to stiffen up.
Oh yeah, once that post is stiff,
it all goes good from there.
cue Jen Lyle
Cue Jen
and
Lyle.
Cam and Chaz.
And Chaz.
SOS, hold tight. Joel needs
What do you need, Joel?
needs a break.
Needs a break? Okay. We'll take a break for you, bud. Let you catch
And
up.
I'm trying
So
to.
probably the best hook to tie this on, guys, is going to be more of a flat hook. This isn't a bad one. It's got a little bit of a different shape hook curve to it, but it works just fine for this fly. So again, remember, it's just a merger sitting under the water, so it's not going to really matter the overall shape of the hook. I wouldn't want to tie it on a full like scud hook because that would look even different. That'd be more.
Oh,
venturing
Joel
into
broke
the
his
clink
thread.
hammer.
Okay,
Oh,
Joel.
broke thread.
You let us know how long you need. Oh, he's back. It's
He's
quick.
back. Yeah, that was fast.
Got 25 bobbins loaded.
All black hooks matter. Yep. Okay.
You pulled a cam. Yes.
Are you ready to go? I think we're good. So let's take a few more thread wraps to really lock in that post. I basically want to cover up all that white. If I haven't quite done, it's not the end of the world, and we don't want to go too high up that post. We're gonna go,
Just so it's stiff.
yeah, we just want to get it nice and firm, okay?
Firm.
Now, what I like to do at this point is I'm gonna come in again with my resin, my UV resin, and I'm gonna put just a small drop on that post. And that's gonna add to a little bit of the stability of it, okay? And don't put that away too far because we are gonna use that again. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna tie in our hackle fibers, okay? Once we get our hackle tied in, then we'll go and we'll build the body of the fly out of our dubbing, and we'll finish by wrapping the hackle itself. But you're gonna grab, doesn't matter which order you tie them in. I'll start, for this sake, I'll just say I'm gonna tie in my grizzly one first. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here, how I'm gonna prep this. I need to pull a few of those little bits of hackle off the stem. I need to expose some stem because I'm actually gonna attach the stem itself, some bare stem up that post as well, okay? So as we've talked before, you have an underside and a top side to your hackle. So the shiny side is the top side, okay? So we need to take the top side, we want to keep it facing ourselves. So what you see right now is the underside, the dull side of the hackle. That's what you're gonna have facing away from you when you tie this in. And we'll show you why that matters once we start to wrap this. But as you can see, I have some bare stem. I need to leave bare stem at least as high as I left my thread. Okay, so I need to at least have that high. I'm gonna lean it against the near side of the fly. I'm gonna take a couple wraps down to the eye to secure it, okay? Now I'm gonna leave it like there for the moment. I'm gonna come now grab my brown colored hackle. And as far as size of the hackle, you can get away with not having the perfect size. Like normally when we're tying a dry fly, we would say size 14. You're gonna measure it on your hackle gauge, make sure it's size 14 hackle. You can get away with upsizing by 1 on these guys because again, remember the hackle's not there to represent wings or legs. It's only there to hold it in the surface film. So what the fish sees is only what's under the water, not the hackle. So don't worry about being exactly on your size if you don't have it with you. So again, I'm gonna tie this one in the exact same way, leaving enough stem above the hook shank to wrap on that post. Once I get this tied in and brought down to the eye, you can see I've left a bit of that stem there. I'm gonna get my thread out of the way so I don't clip it. I come in and trim it out. Okay. And now we're just gonna basically take a few more thread wraps to make sure that's really secured in. I'm gonna pull both of these hackle stems straight up, keeping them oriented the way we tied them in. And now I'm gonna take some thread wraps around the post and the stems of the hackle. And we're basically gonna repeat that process of creating a nice firm post. Okay, so making sure we wrap all the way up to the top.
Once you get that hackle wrapped
and back down
to a point that we can pause, we need to pause.
Okay, let's take a pause.
Are we ready to pause, folks?
We are ready.
Oh, it works. Woo. I've been fighting with my mouse this whole time, and it works. Okay, technical difficulties. But what's more important... Yeah, Sven's gone.
Where'd Sven go?
Yeah, I'm going to burn the shirt. We're going to burn the shirt. What I wanted to do, bring to your attention, now that you guys are at a safe place in your flies, is the beautiful sound that I just heard to the north of me was a fresh beer can opening. And we're at 146 shares. Ooh. And if we can get to 200, Tim Hepworth will chug that beer.
Chug a beer.
A full beer.
One that may have less than full in it.
You just opened it.
Well, I guess I'll start sipping.
Don't, folks. Do not let him sip
too far. This is up to
on
you.
that thing. And that is a darker beer, so it's not
I haven't actually
always.
tried this one yet. What is this?
There you have.
Have I?
The Munich.
Far. What can I get? It was focusing so good.
Just pause, hold tight. It doesn't have light. Hold tight. Does there? Whoop. There. Yep. There it is. Take a picture, folks.
Far Munich.
And I'm drinking the Riverfest.
Dark, rich, and complex.
So, while we wait for people to hit the share button, I need you guys to know that the next giveaway is pretty awesome. It is a fly box from our friends at Rocky Mountain Fly Shop, and I didn't get instructions on how to
open the fly box.
Okay, so what they've done here is they've made a PMD hatch box.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so there's two 18 dries, two 16 dries, two 20 extended bodies.
Ooh, nice.
Two 14 para PMDs, two Quigley cripples, two 12 size 12 Quigley cripples, and a 16 PMD killer nymph times 2. So awesome. This is like PMDs, you got the hatch covered. Things that we're doing tonight, very relevant to something like this.
Yeah.
So in here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 flies. Focus. Focus.
That's awesome.
And a 9-foot 7X, because the trout are picky, leader. So there's no excuses as to why those trout are picky. Also, because this is going to be the second giveaway of the night, we will include uno, dos, tres, cuatro,
Cuatro. Cinco.
cinco,
Seis.
and
Get in there. Should see this guy eat a burger.
yeah, a little different than eating stickers because it doesn't get all over. So yeah, we're gonna throw in one of these, and then what I'm gonna do is order some Thursday Night Live stickers because we ran out. Yeah, and so that
Nice.
is our logo. That's just probably from my nose. That little dab. Black. I like black. I like. Great
It actually
choice,
looks really
Sven.
good on you.
Thanks, Sven. Thanks, Tim. And this is a new microphone today. And if I'm not literally right here,
I think you
it
gotta
sounds
open your mouth.
like I'm so far away. And so if you reach up behind you, and let's throw a hat in too.
Let's do it.
Let's get this going. But because we're in a little bit of a time break here, I need you guys to know that. And there's stickers in the back there by there. And this is from our friend Quinn at Drift Out West. Okay, we're throwing in this hat, the sticker pouch. And then we got all these stickers from Quinn.
Some awesome stickers.
Right? We'll throw one of those. He's got some other sweet stickers in here too, because hey, everybody needs stickers. And Sven, thanks for the stickers.
Yeah, buddy.
One of these. One of these. And I think that's all. Anyway, that's all. That's all, folks.
all of
I
those stickers.
apologize. But yeah. So all of these are
That's a
going
lot
out.
of stickers right there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where to put them. The hatch box, and the hat.
Nice.
But if you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, your guess is not valid. So, Fly Fishing Bow River Outfitters on the YouTube. So head over there, subscribe to us, because that is a prerequisite of winning this package tonight. So feel free to go over there, subscribe, and Timo, am I going to screw people up if I'm sending them over there and then you keep tying?
I don't know. We can take a minute and chat, send them over.
What I need you guys to do, well, I don't need you, but what I think is cool is I have a podcast called Fly Fishing Saves Lives. And a bunch of people in here tonight are in the podcast, and I want to tell your story on my podcast. So if you have a story about how fly fishing saved your life, is a big part of a freedom in your life, I want to share it. And so what I'm going to do is just play the intro to that podcast while you guys head over to the YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We'll come back, finish this fly, we'll draw this, we'll get Tim to slam a beer. A lot of things happening here shortly. And that's what we're going to do. So hold tight.
Right, hold tight.
Tell me a story. Something we've all said or heard in our lives. Stories bring us together around the campfire. Storytelling has earned its place as the most important tradition humans possess. The most important reason for this being that every story contains a lesson. Lessons to love, to forgive, to be just, and to strive for better than we have. They empower us, they lead us, they comfort us. Born in Alberta, raised in the backcountry, fishing, hunting, nature, the wild, all run thick in my blood. up a Canadian boy, I had a similar dream to most other boys my age here, to make the NHL. When that dream was yanked from beneath my feet, how could I carry on? My story is full of hope, inspiration, joy, heartbreak, heartache, and resiliency. My name is Dana Lattery. I'm a fly fishing guide in southern Alberta, an ex-professional hockey player, and a storyteller at heart. Having spent the past decade guiding thousands of fly fishermen from all over the world, I've heard so many stories that paralleled mine. Stories of pain, brokenness, tragedy, from all different walks of life. The more time I spend with them, the more I realized that we all shared one common thread. Fly fishing saved our lives. Grab your favorite drink and join me on this journey as our story begins. So, yeah, I just want to tell stories. And Chaz in here, Jen, which is Stephen Lyle. Why did my hat come down? It's supposed to be up. It's like I'm going fast.
Guys, if you haven't checked out that podcast, like, I'm not a huge podcast listener, but there's a few that I do enjoy, and that's one of them. Because you can identify so easily with a lot of these people. If you haven't, we all have a story, right? We all have a story to give.
Everybody has a story.
Especially when it comes to fly fishing, we talk about the piece that only is understood on the water.
Yeah,
and
the healing that takes place.
Healing that happens. It's therapy. And in every one of the stories that's been on the podcast so far, it comes full circle. No matter what people's struggles are, what they've gone through in their life, it just comes back to the water. It comes back to time on the water and the people they do it with. It's powerful. Like, it's hard. Like, I feel like I'm got the goosebumps talking about it because it's real. Like,
it is.
Because real life happens, and it happens to all of us. Nobody's story is insignificant, right? It means everyone's story will affect someone in a positive way. So
yeah,
reach out to Dana.
And if your story touches one person, changes their life, or releases them from an addiction, a mental health issue, a struggle that they're going through, or it just helps somebody who's minorly struggling and says, oh, it's cool, Tim did this, or Chaz did that, or Cam was going through this, or Stephen Lyle was going through this. That's why we tell our story, because in sharing our stories and our vulnerability, you get people that make fun of you. Boom, gone. See you later. But there's people that it literally changes their lives. And I'm just honored to share the stories and help facilitate that. So feel free to reach out if you have a story or anything you want to share. I know I have a couple people waiting to come down to the studio. Barrett, Cheyenne. Mark is also another one that's on it too.
Steve, I've got a story. Oh, Lord, help me. I've got one.
Steve Yates.
Reach
that
out,
is the Trout Maharishi. He revealed himself.
You revealed yourself.
Because he's on the YouTube
he went
now.
To YouTube.
Okay, Steve, reach out to me. Switch to my YouTube account. Okay, so now that we've all subscribed, 170 shares, maybe they'll hit 200, but you need to finish this fly with the fine folks.
Yeah, let me finish
waiting.
this before I have to chug a beer.
Yes. Okay, let's get back to this.
Okay, guys. We are getting pretty close to finishing our Parachute Adams. I'm excited for you because once you get this one nailed down, it's a super exciting fly to finish because I can pretty much guarantee you if you fish it, you're going to catch fish on it. And that's a super rewarding thing as a tyer, is to catch fish on our own flies. Okay?
There's a question here before you get started. I've always stripped the hackle fibers a little more on the inside part of wrapping the hackle, only because I was told to does it matter?
Yeah, so that's a good question, Shaylin. You're not wrong to do it. Okay, in tying, you're gonna find that everyone has their own opinion on why they do it. It is probably the right answer, because what it's gonna do when we go to start wrapping our hackler on the post, if I would have stripped a little bit more on the side that's going into the turn first, then none of those fibers are gonna get trapped. In my experience, very few get trapped as it is, and it's insignificant in the overall appearance of the fly. Nothing wrong with doing it, just not sure that it actually makes that big a difference. So when we're teaching more basic patterns like this, it's there's definitely patterns that we tie with dry fly that aren't on a post. They're a different way to prepare the hackle. But on these ones, my suggestion is keep it simple, don't overthink it.
And it's a good point, because the things that we teach here, they're not absolutes. And I don't think there is a lot of absolutes in fly tying. And we're just on the journey of getting better one fly at a time.
Yep.
And you guys have helped us get better with awesome tips. So keep those coming in and keep the questions. It keeps us thinking.
Definitely. If you're here to see perfect flies tied every single time, you might be in the wrong spot.
Yeah, you got to go over to the Sven Diesel's page.
Go check out Sven. No, we try to be as vulnerable as possible, because it's really how we all learn together. I'm not the best fly tyer out there. I can admit that easily. I love the suggestions that come from you, because my influences aren't that vast. I've had a few pretty big influences in my tying career, but not. You guys are all influences for me now. So I love the suggestions. Never hesitate to give them to us. Okay, so let's get some dubbing on this fly. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take a couple wraps back, get about to the hook point, right back where I'm gonna be starting. So right where I tied in those tail fibers, okay, is kind of where we're gonna start putting dubbing on. Now we've got this awesome Adams gray. I really like this stuff even over the superfine, because it's got a little bit of a shimmer to it, which is super good. And this is the amount we gave in your kit. So you're welcome. You can tie about 50 of these flies from it. Doesn't take much to tie them. So I'm gonna grab a little pinch, and all I'm gonna do is put it on just like I did my last fly. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna make a very thin dubbing noodle. It can taper to a little bit larger at the bottom. We're gonna go for about roughly 2.5 to 3 inch noodle. I'm gonna prepare, just keep taking little bits at a time, spinning them on. Don't overdo it, don't grab a big clump, especially with this kind of dubbing. It's super fine dry fly dubbing. So it comes off in tiny little wisps, and that's how we like to put it on. Once I think I've got enough, I can always pull this. That's one thing I like about super fine dubbing, is it's actually really simple to pull off your thread. So if you've overdone it, don't worry, we can peel some off. Okay, now I want my thread wraps to start right at the base of that tail. I don't want to, as you saw what I did there, it starts to push the tail down. I don't want that to happen. So my first wraps need to be up slightly, and we're just gonna start taking wraps rearward. If I feel like my dubbing's getting a little bit loose, it's not bad here, but I'll just show you for example. If it looks like it's getting a little loose, I just reach in and I respin it. It'll tighten up that rope again, and we can go right back to wrapping. So I'm gonna come up right to the base of that post. I'm gonna pass over to in front of the post. I'm gonna take some wraps down, and now this might scare you a bit, but we're not gonna whip finish at the eye. We're gonna whip finish on the post. I know that sounds scary, but I promise you I'll make it simple, okay?
I wish I had a scary sound effect.
Scary sound
Maybe
effect. Spooky, something spooky.
Nope, that's not scary. Nope, that's the theme song. Glock, nope, that's not scary. What's this one? Air horn, that wins every time.
Every time.
That's all we need.
Okay, so I'm probably gonna have a little too much dubbing on here, but like I said, don't bother me at all. What I wanna do is I wanna come and do a couple of cross wraps. So I'm gonna cross to your side of the fly. I'm gonna do almost like a figure 8 in theory, just so that I'm covering up. I need to cover up all those thread wraps that are around that post, because again, like I said, I'm gonna whip finish on the post itself, not the eye. So I need to cover up all my work as I get there. I'm gonna tighten up that rope one more time. And what I need to do is to correctly get working on this post, I need to turn my thread over and leave it on the far side of the fly. Now I'm done. I'm happy with what I have there, so I'm gonna reach in and I'm gonna pull off that extra dubbing. I'll spin it up just a little bit, and you'll see that that little bit of extra dubbing I'm actually gonna end up placing near the post, or I can come over and do one more thread wrap to get rid of it. Either or is fine. okay? Now, as you can see, that's a very evenly tapered body. We got a bit of a bulk near what we would consider the thorax or where the wings are gonna emerge out of this fly, and we taper out to the tail, okay?
It also looks like that fly got into my banana bread cake.
It does.
It's a little stubby.
Maybe a little larvae-ish.
Yeah. To each their own. Chunky flies
To each their own.
need to get eaten too.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you how I like to do this. Again, like I've said and Dana have said, this isn't the end all be all. Everyone has their own style of tying and how they like to do it. I'm simply gonna show you how I was taught this fly and how I feel it's the easiest for me to tie it, and hopefully that's the same for you. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna change the orientation in my vise. And the reasoning for doing that is I'm gonna realign it so that the post is now at the right angle to become basically my hook shank, okay? So I'm gonna take it, be careful with it. I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna tip the nose down, basically get it straight vertical in my vise. Now that is why I left my thread where I did, because now it naturally hangs off that post, okay? Now I like to come at this point, put a few more wraps down on the post just to really make sure I've got that post locked in, and then bring my thread right back to the base of the body, okay? Really lock that in. Take one more there. Okay, I'm gonna change the angle just slightly on it. Okay, that's where I'm gonna leave my thread. Now this is the part where we're gonna start wrapping our hackle down, and then we're gonna whip finish on the stem, okay? Now, this is a little me trick. This is what I like to do, and the reasoning for it is I've screwed up a few of these flies. You know, I've got through this whole process, tried to whip finish, and not always does the whip finish work out perfectly. Cut my thread, and my hackle unwinds off the post. Serious pain in the butt. One way to get around that, I'm gonna take a touch of this UV resin, again, my bone dry. I'm gonna take and touch that post on all sides, okay? Now I'm not gonna cure it. I'm gonna leave it as it is, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rack that hackle down the post. I'm gonna, just before I start to whip finish, I'm gonna torch it. Now imagine all of those hackle fibers that I've wrapped down the post are now in that glue or that resin, and when I torch it, in theory, it should hold them in place even if my whip finish doesn't hold, okay? So now, as I go to orient these hackle fibers, I want the underside or the dull side of the hackle to be pointed towards the top of the post. So if I point them down, what's gonna happen is as I wrap my hackle down, the hackle is gonna lay down over the fly like so, and I want it actually to lay in the reverse where the hackle fibers naturally wanna stand up a bit, okay? So as I tied them in, they're oriented in the right spot, okay? And now I'm gonna start wrapping. Normally I get a maximum of 4 wraps down this post. Maximum of 4, normally it's 3, okay? So I'm gonna hold both of them together and start my wrap. Now for this first one, it can be a little tricky to get them started, so I often reach in and grab the post just to stabilize it. Now that's 1 full wrap. Now I'm gonna move down the post for my next wrap. Imagining it is wrapping 2 hackle fibers, so it's doubling the amount of hackle I'm laying down at once. Going for my 3rd full wrap. I'm gonna finish by holding those hackle fibers back towards myself and up, and a little bit down, because now I've got all the hackle that I want on there. I'm gonna come in there with my thread, and I'm gonna kind of push my thread down to make sure I don't trap any of those hackle fibers. And I'm gonna go right around that post once and twice. Now just the tension of the bobbin hanging should hold them in place. Now remember what I said, I put that resin on there, so I'm gonna come in here and torch it.
Zap it.
Zap it real quick, because before I whip finish, like I said, in theory, even if I screw up my whip finish, that resin I put on the post should hold those hackle fibers in place, and I might not ruin the fly.
And in theory, you don't even have to whip finish.
In theory, I shouldn't have to, but I will, because that also makes me nervous.
Yeah. Those are the flies you give me.
Yeah. Sucks to get to this point and screwed up, okay? I'm gonna leave those hackle fibers, whatever you have remaining. Remember, we have enough hackle fiber in there to do 2, but it's off the same piece. So don't get rid of those so you can tie your next one. I'm gonna come in here with my whip finish tool. I know this is the part that's scary, but it's no different than whip finishing on a hook eye. all I'm doing is I'm gonna be careful to try not to trap any fibers as I go around. I'm gonna do a 3 to 4 turn whip finish, and that's gonna be it, okay? So I hold the stem, pull a little thread out. Remember, for my whip finish, how I like to describe this is I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna stab with my hook. I'm gonna stab, I'm gonna wrap, rotate until I get my 4, which looks like so.
So what I did, I added to the soundboard.
Oh,
You can't hear it.
I can't hear it.
But
What is
if
it?
you ever break, destroy, snap, lose a fly, fall apart, I got the sensor beep. So you
Ooh.
can go ahead and
And fail?
scream and swear.
Mother! That's good, I like it.
You keep going. I'm censoring you.
Okay.
At the
Beep, 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 mother sugar.
Just in case,
Cheese bop,
I
do that, do
preloaded it. How's your shoulders?
He doesn't
Getting
trust me.
tired?
Okay, so I'm gonna come in here, guys. Now remember, I've got my 4 now, and as I pull on my bobbin and push that hook down, I get to choose where I lay that thread. So I'm gonna lay it down right against the base of the post. Start wrapping. I'm not fast here. I'm taking my time. I don't want to trap any extra fibers. 2, 3 turns. Tip the butt in till it falls off, and now I have all the control with that hook. I'm gonna come right into the base of the post, tip it off the hook,
Ooh, that's
Grab
a good
that post.
tip. That's a good tip.
give a little tug. Boom. I got it,
Sven,
okay?
That sensor is for your sensitive ears.
So equally as important, now that I'm going in to trim out my thread, you gotta be very careful going into that fly that you don't trim out any extra fibers that you've already put in, because that's kind of a bummer too. I'm gonna first get my thread out of the way. I'll turn this a bit so you can see this. Now I'm gonna reach in there and I'm going to trim out the remaining pieces of that hackle. Now this is what I'm left with. I like it, looks pretty good.
Pretty good.
If I have anything that's overhanging, I can go in there and trim it out. But honestly, I kind of got lucky on this one. They're not all that good. I'll reorientate this in my vise so you can see it a little better. And there you have it, guys.
Just tell me. You get the air horn.
That is your Parachute Adams.
That is my Parachute Adams. Or yours.
Yours, possibly.
It could be yours. How could it be yours?
How could it be yours? Well, how it could be yours is every fly that I tie and all of my practice flies that I tie all go into, if you remember this from last season, the master box. As you can
And
see,
it's
already
more.
getting very full, and we're on episode 9 of 20.
Yes.
Okay?
And we have,
Not to mention we have a lot of other flies to put in here.
oh man, we've got 30, 40 dozen flies that we've been working on.
This thing will be so full, you will
And
barely be able to open it.
We'll be doing 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So on the last episode, we do a little bit of
What are you going to call it, Dan?
a. That's the question.
That is the
What
question.
do we call it? So it's a $5 donation gets you an entry, and we have rods, reels, multiple fly boxes full of flies, like thousands of dollars. Like our streamers that we're working on, there's
Yeah.
probably 25 dozen streamers that we're giving away on the final episode. And it's
That's a lot of streamers. Whew.
$5 donation to the show, and it gets you an entry. And
That doesn't mean you only have to make one. If you want to up your odds,
yeah, so if you put in
can
100,
put in 100
it
bucks.
gives
it's-
you 20. I did the
entries.
math for you.
You did it? You got
I
it?
did.
Okay.
I did
We were
the
talking
math.
about things that are facts, and 2 plus 2,
2 plus 2 is a fact.
is a fact. It's
And
a 4. Okay, now I can take this coat
So-
off. Jeez, I'm dying.
Yeah. This is not even a plug, but just Sven.
Hey, come on,
Send
dude.
us up a couple shirts. And what's cool is the community is really cool.
Yeah.
The community supports the community. My hat doesn't support being
It's
rally.
Bill.
Being up rally. And so yeah, Sven Diesel. Check him out on Facebook, Instagram, and all the other social medias like TikTok. and he might even be on
In a Speedo.
OnlyFans.
Yeah.
That's on OnlyFans.
Yes, true.
The
We did
Speedo.
see him. What was he doing? Snow blowing in his shorts this week?
Something.
It's a brave guy. You sure you're not from Canada?
Yeah. So the community is full of amazing people, and
That's such an underrated statement, but it honestly is. Because
Yeah.
the group that we have in here, whatever, we have 120 people in here right now. I guarantee you, if you reached out to any of these people for anything, they're going to help you out.
like doesn't even have to be fishing.
No.
And
You need
like,
a ride to the
go
grocery
through the
store?
comments. Add these people as friends, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, whatever you want to do. I see the community building together, helping each other out. If we could have all of you guys in here hanging out, we would. It's a little interesting right now in the world, but
I know.
yeah. So what I wanted to do before we leave is give this stuff away, obviously. And remember, if you win and you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, this gift will go back into the pot next week. But what I wanted to talk about before we move into the giveaway is something I want to do weekly here on Thursday Night Live, is talk about wins, W-I-N-S, victories. And because we're all going through things different, and wins and victories are awesome. And I think they're even more awesome when we share them. So let me share a couple wins from my world, and then Tim can share a couple wins, and then you guys in the comments share some wins that you had this week, because it's contagious. And so a win that I had this week is we had minus 50 weather for the past couple weeks, and things break.
Yeah.
And so one of our cars broke, and I'm telling you, there was oil absolutely everywhere. And I'm the kind of guy who doesn't like to go to the mechanic, to the doctor, because I don't like to be told that something's wrong. It's a bad trait. Don't adopt it. But having said that, I was panicked about the car. What's this going to cost? And anyways, finally got it in on Tuesday. Monday was a holiday. And they called me back and said it's $200 to fix it and an oil change. An oil change is like 120 bucks
Yeah.
here in Canada.
You're halfway there.
And so I almost fell off my chair, and I was like, wow, there's a victory for me. And I was just kind of giving thanks for those little victories, because too often we're super negative and we focus on the bad things that are happening. And so for me, that was a super awesome victory. And I had another one. I signed a contract with somebody for some video work. And so very timely. And I'm excited to share my creativity with this company. And so I had 2 fantastic victories this week. They might seem like nothing to you, but I'm sharing because it's contagious. Tim, victories, wins. What are your wins?
This week is, oh man, it's hard to talk about, to be honest.
Yeah, now we're...
Now we're there.
Do I switch to your cam or come to my cam?
This week has been a hard one for me. The work this week was not good, not easy for me. But worst of all is...
I'm just staring
terrible.
over here. I can put my hat down
We
now.
gotta say goodbye to our dog this week, and yeah, we're gonna lose him on Tuesday, which is probably the weirdest thing you can ever do, is say goodbye in a timely fashion, I guess. But what I'm blessed to know is I've had 13 years with him, which is unbelievable. Thankful for it, but more than anything, my win this week is today. Yeah, sorry guys, it's Yeah, I need it today.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that it's hard to talk about because it's letting go of something you love is always hard. But I mean, I'm thankful for Dana because he's going through similar things at this point, and he understands what I'm going through and my family's going through. And also, we get to come together on a night like tonight and
hang out with you guys.
This all takes your mind off of it. And I'm sad, but I'm not sad because community is everything, and I know that I have people here for us, and you know, we're all moved past this, but this is it's an exciting thing for me to get to come and share Thursdays with you. And even Sven earlier today texted him, and you know, he said something about having a tough week and he was looking forward to tonight. And I can't resonate with that enough because it's not about us. It really isn't. It's about you guys. And getting to share this with you every week is the highlight of my week. And on a week like this week when wins aren't in abundance, we'll say, it's everything to be here with you guys. So we appreciate your support. I appreciate your support. And I would literally not rather be any other place. I'm going to cut it off there.
Yeah, we're in the very similar situation with our dogs, and it sucks. Yeah, and I can't say enough about Thursdays and spending time with, and it's so weird, but like just sitting here reading comments of virtual people, and most of you guys we've never met, or girls, and some of you we have. Chaz, I feel like one of my best friends, and I've never met him, and it's just so bizarre. But I mean, yeah, it's you know, we had a, not gonna say any names or anything, but a call before the show, and just checking through the comments here. Yeah, one of our friends lost their son this week. And
what was so powerful in it all is he had to call to tell us not to worry, because he knew he'd be worried that we didn't see him in the show tonight. And that, to me, that just grabs my heartstrings, because what means more? Yeah, my win is watching Thursday Night Live. You know who you are, brother. We love you.
Yeah, 100%, man. Okay. The folks in Texas, their well is frozen. They're experiencing cold like they've never seen before. Trevor, my wins are I tied my first trout intruder and it came out mint. Nice. My second win is that thanks to you guys, I'm starting to speak out and tackle my mental health issues. And that is
that's such a win, man. Like,
that's a win for me. Usually we have an after party, and this is it. Yeah. So I don't think we're going to do that tonight. I think we're just going to stay on here for a few more minutes and just share with everybody wins, because I said it's contagious. Art Corey, a win is watching Thursday Night Live. Don't take life so serious and just think positive. Our dog just turned 11, and I know it's not long, but we'll have a few more years, hopefully. We're here for you, Art, because it's going to happen. I don't think I'm too far behind Gibson with my dog. And, yeah, we need a joke. Yeah, where's Doug?
Elaine, Doug, where are you, buddy? We need your joke.
Shay says, how lucky are we to love and be loved by our animals, that it makes these moments so hard. Cry it out and treasure your moments. This too shall pass, and it gets easier. 100%. Ted, this is the first year of Time Flies. I started this with my teenage daughter. It's given us hours of pleasure and time together. I've bought duplicate of everything and loved every minute. And awesome. if you get a follow with Tim and Ren, it's on Instagram, Tim and Ren, just like it sounds, WREN. It's the journey of him and Ren getting to spend time. I remember sitting in the boat that trip we did,
Which one?
the city trip, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
you gotta make this journey is inspiring, and we have to share our stories, folks.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Ted. Jen, it's a rare as we get to old to find new friends at this level. I feel that this has given more than ever expected. Every Thursday is a win.
Heck yeah.
Hugs are game changers.
Man, do I miss those.
Yeah. I know.
What happens behind closed doors?
Yeah. Or open doors or whatever.
Yeah.
Trevor, we love you too, man. Appreciate you. Barry, thoughts and prayers. Pups are a huge part of the family. Barry's been tying with the Norvites crew in their multi Zoom calls. So that's awesome.
Yeah, you're right, buddy.
I don't know if we got to 200 shares.
I'd chug a beer.
irrelevant.
I might need to chug a beer anyways. Oh, man.
I'm going to keep reading these wins. Even if everybody leaves and there's only 3 of us here. 175.
Look at Elaine.
Okay, Doug's back. My neighbor, the blonde, gave her cat a bath on Tuesday. She still hasn't got all the hair off her tongue.
They're getting better, buddy. Nice work.
I love you, Doug. Prayers for folks in Texas and Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
Is this the first virtual group hug? It
Yes,
is.
please. I'll take it.
It is. Tom says, you motivate me to tie and get back to fly fishing. Soon to be on the yellow breeches. Thanks for everything. Thank you, Tom. Second dose of the Kung flu vax. Well, it's more than we get up here.
Nice, buddy.
It doesn't make it across the border, apparently. Michael, you're counting doing Thursday Night Live on your birthday as a win. Michael, is it your birthday?
Yeah.
Let us know, because we have a sound effect.
Yeah, we got that covered.
Mark, my win is we are finally seeing a light at the end of the tunnel with our overrun of COVID patients in-house. Over 100 in-house a few weeks ago and under 10 today.
That's huge, man.
Amen.
That's huge.
Amen to that. Thanks for the night each week. It is also a big win. Cofield Forseth. I'm still riding my structure fire win from a few weeks ago. Bad situation, conditions, excellent outcome. Saved a family's home, felt good. Sorry about your doggo, Tim. That's awesome, because you're helping people, and there's no bigger win than serving, loving, and helping people.
Yeah.
And we say it all the time here, and we talked about this 2 years ago and how corny it would be, but our slogan here is love people.
Yeah.
Because
you can hate it if you want, but that's who we are.
Yeah,
so
that's
take
literally.
us as we are. Yeah.
And Matthew inserts the joke. How much did it cost the pirate to get his ears pierced? Tim's not a pirate.
I don't know. I think I actually originally got them, so that's funny actually, because my parents were not okay with this. I was like maybe 18, 19, still living at home. I went to Claire's in the mall, had them pierced with a gun, and I thought I could hide them, so I had like clear earrings.
I need to find a...
Oh.
Yeah, I gave you a little party noise.
Anyways, they've been this size for a long time. I don't know. Maybe I'll take them out one day.
Yeah, it's overrated. Bags. My win was having a couple of buddies reach out to me to help me out. Well, Bags, also, if you're it's really cool to see you growing in your videography journey, and reach out anytime if you have any questions. I'm always here for you, pal. Cody, my win is I lost my job, and my daughter made it seem like a win because she's excited she gets to spend more time with me. And there's always a silver lining about that. Even the whole COVID stuff. Just kidding, it's my wife's. Bruce is trying to give away his wife's dog.
Get rid of one dog.
You and Ren's journey is inspiring.
Thanks.
Justin, got a win. The day after last week's episode, bagged my dream job of being a fly guide starting in April. So
That's
awesome, Justin.
Nice job, buddy.
Welcome to the world of making no money, long days, never getting to fish.
And the
but
only job that's awesome.
loving your life, every single second of it. Norman, my win this week comes through tragedy. 2 years ago next Monday, my wife from Walkerton, Ontario passed. My win is that I finally come to terms with this. The pain will never leave, but I can now live with it. That's a powerful
Oh, man.
statement.
I don't know at what point that change can happen, but I'm very happy that you found it, man. That's huge. I feel like we know you. I know you're a long ways away in a much warmer place than us, but I truly hope we can meet up one day and fish with you and share some good times.
Yes. It's in the Bahamas, I believe.
Yeah, somewhere warm.
My win is I just booked 6 days fishing at Kelly Forks in Idaho.
Oh, that'll be a great trip.
Yes. My win would be opening the freaking border.
Yeah, let us come with you. Open the border, please.
Mike, we love that you're here. Texas needs more cattle creating methane. Yeah. Well, guys, we had a change in presidency that guaranteed to end the global warming, and well, Texas, you're frozen because of it.
Sorry, buddy.
1 year, I actually lost several family members and a couple friends, but the hardest loss for me was actually losing our family pet of 20 years. Wow. 20 years, Matt. That's
It's a long time. I heard a statement today said that the biggest shame in owning a pet is that they can't live as long as you.
yeah.
20 years, that's huge.
phenomenal.
That's phenomenal. Must have been a little dog or a little cat. Lasts that long.
Shaylin, got a win, met Justin Shoup, and he got me into all this cool stuff. Then you found us, all of us. That's
Amazing.
awesome. We're glad you're here. Have a toast to good pups, great peeps. Okay,
Cool.
let's have a cheers. I got some beer.
Across the room.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
I got a long reach at 6 feet. Cheers to good pups, great peeps, and better brothers, sisters from other mothers. Okay. My win is fly tying. Just started my journey fishing and tying and loving every second. Well, Scott, your life is about to get really freaking awesome and addictive, and you'll probably change friends because some people just don't get it, and that is okay. Okay, it is Michael's
I heard today was your
It's your
birthday.
You want in the
Should get
music?
in on this.
So let me say
All right.
happy birthday.
Well, Michael, it is your 50th birthday.
Happy birthday.
We have a song for you.
Birthday.
I don't even know if you can hear me anymore, but it's all about the birthday song.
Happy birthday.
Yes, big victory, folks.
Happy birthday. Let's make today the best day.
You hear it?
I can't hear myself either.
Have fun with
You hear that?
all day.
All right.
Happy birthday. Hey, it's your birthday. Happy birthday.
So, if you can hear, can't text me because I'm not through the.
Hey, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. You'll get lots of presents and eat lots of cake. So let's get this day started right away.
You ruined the show.
Happy birthday.
Okay, well we'll turn that one off. The happy birthday song. Okay, let's get A win for me was visiting Rocky Mountain Fly Shop with my daughter. We had tons of fun on the drive and at the shop.
That's awesome.
And hopefully you got yourself a Dairy Queen.
That's what we need right now.
I know. Haven't tied much in a few years, but see you guys on Facebook and got right back into it. It's a special kind of people. Yes, the whole entire... I guess I'm not getting the chance to do this. And if the show crashes, because things are looking crashy right now. Bailu, my small win is fly tying. Also a beginner, and it's therapy. It is such therapy. It is freaking awesome. Maybe I can plug in some headphones just so that I know that we are...
Monitor what you're doing. You want to scroll down for me just a little bit? Or sorry, back up?
I'll do whatever you want, Tim.
I appreciate it. I just read a comment I'd like to read.
I
So
can hear now.
Keegan Thomas, she said, I just wanted to say thank you for providing a place to come laugh and be rejuvenated with positivity with doing what we love. Cheers, fellas. That is pretty much wraps up exactly what we're about. Hopefully you all feel the same.
So my grandma is 85, and she told me a true story, and I quote, 30 years ago, my neighbor was smoking in bed and dropped her cigarette down her nightie. Stephen, I tell you, she started her own bushfire. Well, Stephen's grandma is the real Stephen Lyle.
Sounds like she should be part of the show.
Okay, let's give this away, folks. And I don't know how we're going to do this. Well, you do know how I'm going to do this, folks. And you're probably going to start writing your comments.
Get writing.
Okay. All right. I have a number here for Tim.
I got it.
And it needs to be a number between 1 and... How many people are watching? 92? 1 and 92.
1 and 92.
Pick a number between 1 and 92. And the first person we see here...
On
Nope,
our screen.
Chaz, that is 333. Cam. Look at Cam wins.
No,
Cam.
up higher than that. Joel got it before him.
No.
Joel Sather. Look, right there.
Where?
First one,
Oh,
right
yeah,
there.
Joel.
Sather. He nails it. Number 3.
Yeah, because they
For
saw
the
what I
win.
did.
Yeah.
I just erased a couple numbers because I can't find my pen.
Chas won 3 times.
Yes, that's what he's going to say.
3.
Okay, guys. Well, take pictures of your flies. Use hashtags Thursday Night Live Fly Tying. And we'll share them and want to see what you guys are up to.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys freaking rock. Thanks for being vulnerable with us. Thanks for hanging out and being patient with us. All the fun things, Rocky Mountain Fly Shop, Shore Fishing, Norvice, Fly Kia Tables, to all of our sponsors, to all you guys that bought fly tying kits, the packages this year. We thank you. That literally keeps us able to do this. And save your $5. Americans, it's about $3. Because next week is episode 10, which is halfway to the final.
Halfway to the final.
And when we hit the final, it's a massive giveaway. And it gets an entry with a $5 donation. So take some bottles in and save up for that. But to our sponsors, to you guys, most importantly, you guys for being here, sharing with us. Michael, happy 50th birthday. That's freaking awesome. And we're super, I mean, it's cool. You shared it with us
We're blessed
tonight.
to have you share it with us. Yeah.
Honored
that's
was
awesome.
the word I was looking for. Jean-Louis Gamont Leclerc on the YouTube. This isn't a job. This is just us hanging out with you guys. And so, again, I'm Dana Lattery with Fly Fishing Bow River Outfitters.
And I'm Tim Hepworth, also with Fly Fishing Bow River Outfitters. Can't say enough, guys. We love you. And honestly, can't think of anything better than seeing you next week.
100%. And next week the flies are a midge, and a big streamer.
Big streamer. Of
Zoo
some
cougar.
kind. Zoo cougar, yeah.
Zoo cougar. So
Good
be
one.
here for that, folks. Bring your friends. When we post the event, share it to your friends. Get all your friends to come and hang out with us, and so we have more awesome people.
Yeah.
Love you guys, every single one of you. Reach out to us if you need anything this week. And here's to more wins, and we'll see you next Thursday. Love you guys.
Peace.